Beset by the same tragedy, people can no longer tell where the barriers separating them arose. Sure, sure. It's story time. Fisher, urgent correspondence from the Viscount? Oh my. Fisher? Oi, pondering some question for the ages again. I'm guessing he's probably going to be a unit at some point. Apologies. While your mind has gone walkies talking in your jigsaw puzzle, that Harmony feline has been continuing to act without pause right here in County Trent. I assure you my mind has not wandered and surveillance of her has not slackened an inch. The way you act tells me the investigation's not made much headway. Her surveillance during this stretch proves she's still loyal to her duty in Victoria. I can't read. I'll be happier than if we catch a traitor. Never seen you happy, period. After the failure of the last op, I thought I wouldn't see you in this office again. Don't put it that way. The op itself wasn't a failure. And your results from the hospital? Acute infection, active originium shards abundant in wounds. Of course, my condition is under control now, I assure. The occasional headaches will not impact my activities. That said, I haven't reported the diagnosis to the superiors yet. I consider myself as still able to assume the investigation into Harmony, not to mention nobody would want to take over the scraps of info on this region. There's a true goal behind these smoke bombs, and I have a duty to find it out. And I assure I will maintain a distance from all others during this period. With my experience handling emergency situations, you didn't even need to add that last part. We of the Special Forces will continue supporting your investigation as long as the City Hall still lets you in. Not gonna say thanks. Haha, never mind that, I'm just cracking a joke. Trying to untense your muscles for once. Find some time to read the Viscount's letter, remember? An invitation card. I see. Listen to you. Where are you going to take us? We can't keep wandering in these wastes anymore. There's no settlements along the way you're pointing us. You can forget picking berries in a place as lifeless as this, let alone hunting wild beasts. And besides, you don't know if the rain's going to pelt us with stones one day. No catastrophe messenger ever heads through there. I know exactly how many days it takes to cross the marsh. Food-wise, we plunder a Victorian caravan, and the job's done. Oh, and that doctor's got enough medicine for us. She's not a doctor, and she's headed to a town herself. We agreed she'd part ways after escorting us to one even. What do you take her for? A personal first aid kit. Everyone's got to throw everything they've got in with you, lies included, all because you want to be a little selfish, yeah? Am I wrong? Shut up, Fionn. If you got a problem, why don't you go off yourself? You think you can handle that? Cowards don't survive. Selman. Oh, Reed. You know how much I hate your nickname? It's like rocks and mud. All over the ground. I don't even know if I'm talking to you or the grass we walk by. Haha. I heard you two arguing. I have to tell you something. We can't go to Tulla Village. The airwaves just said the army suspects two factories there of secretly producing supplies for Dublin. They drove out a bunch of people, a whole clash sparked off. We'll keep heading that direction for now. Forget caching the carrier. We'll probably get seized the moment we approach the village. It's a miracle we got someone so capable to help us, just barely made it out here. Ha! You say that like you'll flag down a carrier and the good days will come. Escape from a factory into a mine somewhere else, until one lucky day a truck takes you somewhere other than Terra. You think that'll be a cakewalk? I gotta check something real quick. I know a lot of who fled that way. Oh, Typhon's drawn by Sears. Okay. I don't remember if was he is he an event? Limited operator. Nani. Oh, he's limited? Really? Interesting, okay. Hmm. You saw them leave, that's all? Because their village went up in smoke because they couldn't... Whoa. Whoopsies. Because their village went up in smoke because they couldn't put crops in any wasteland around. That's why they left. And you don't even know where they finished up or if they did it alive or dead. And do you even know where Terra is or how far you go before you've escaped? They've never shown that on a man. Wait, what? They never showed it to a man, but then it says it's never shown on a map. Nani? Stop trying to scare me with all these big questions. Does it make you right just because I can't answer? Forget it. Forget it. I'll go talk with an old acquaintance here about borrowing some dry rations. It's like all that blabbing you do is gonna conjure up enough food to feed the dozen of us tomorrow. SSR stream hour. He's very hurt. No shit. He doesn't like telling lies, but he's got to come up with some porkies if he wants to borrow stuff. I'll be back. I can repay you, things like that. Just freaking gotta go through the event and get my farm on. My pots are gonna freaking expire tomorrow. I'll go and help them. You talk too much like those Victorian officers from other parts. They won't trust you. Or are you that good at lying? I just don't like having to rob others. SSR. Do you guys want me to pull for Reed? Freaking, a friend of mine just pulled and he got Reed. I'm just like, mm. And I don't like your selfishness either. It's the greatest lie of them all. Oh, SSR stream hour. Oh, Chin! Chin. You're sure your friend you saw? Freaking great outfit. When do we get it? Or an alternate Chin? Do one pull. Why else wouldn't we be passing through here? Word spread among all the caravans. Everyone's opting to go the long way around just to avoid the spell. We wouldn't even have come here if you hadn't vowed so solemnly we'd be fine. Eh? But we're almost to your destination and we haven't seen a thing yet. It did happen some days ago. There's a chance they're off further on now. Okay, now I understand. I mean, ideally, I guess I would... I'm not exactly sure what my personal ideal stream hour is. It tends to vary, but I do try and I do try and keep it consistent, or at least I try to keep it consistent. Though sometimes I might stream a little earlier, sometimes I might stream a little later. Though by later, maybe like an extra hour or something. I don't know. What I heard was Dublin were scrambling on their way so much they never even turned to look properly at my friend's caravan. Oh, how many heads did you count? Which direction were they off in? That way, off into uninhabited wastes. As for how many, he said he couldn't count properly and didn't dare to either. I've got no reason to lie to you, madams. We've got nothing to fear at all, save those armed Dublin bastards and your average Terran hoodlums. Poor places are always crawling with bandits or what have you. We have security measures in place, I can guarantee you that. By the time we found out County Oak Grove was migrating far and us caravans that have to alter course through here have already spent a hefty sum arming and armoring my people. Hold on a minute, Chen Chen. Wait, I forgot bagpipe calls freaking if bagpipe calls Chen Chen Chen. That's cute. Huh? There's someone dressed a lot like Dublin there. Fee, I tell you, that new tax ordinance they just announced its murder. None of us were so hard up in times before. Fee on foreign, madam, I'd love to be able to help you, but I'm living on pennies these days too, and you can laugh if you want. On the one hand, you want to feed a dozen or so a meal each, and that's not nothing. On the other hand, you've got all these people with working limbs and working energy. You're best off coming up with your own solution. You know they've been sounding lights out for years on the Skathana fields exactly to hold off the starving, to stop us stealing some noble's prey, right? Faf, who gives a toss about rules when you're starving for real? If you're just counting purely on others to help your need, I say you were born eating your head off. No, 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 never. They're all law-abiders. Come on, that's why I'm even asking for a bite to eat on their behalf. Maybe I can do you something if you got collateral. Sorry, Fion, but verbal guarantees don't do no use now. Book, that's not gonna do it, madam. Not sure I'd even trust this to prop up my bed. Hello, is anyone in? Is that? Don't answer. That sick woman's here begging again, does me in. You open the door for her, she'll be leaning on the frame talking your head off for an hour straight. Leaning on the frame. She's an infected. I'm scared she's gonna have my house's doorframe growing stones. Faff and all those bloody beggars. I thought last winter might well have starved them to death. Shame they caught ill, but who asked them to loiter all over pestering people? One sec though, that voice. No, it can't be, but I wouldn't mistake it. Fion, do you recognize her? I don't know. Ugh, better not peek from the window. Those are sounds of fighting. Is someone driving those infected away? No, it's from the highway outside the village. Oh god, see what I said? That's what starving people do. They start bashing other people in with hoes. Hose! Stop waiting. We doss around anymore and the caravan's gonna pass us. I'm willing to bet Fion's not getting us food this time. Laughing stock he makes of himself asking, doesn't even realize it. Those Victorians sneer at us day in and day out. What's a single bit of robbery to us or them? Weren't we gonna join Dublin and fight the Victorians anyway? But Reed might get angry with us doing something like this. Let her. Shouldn't we loot while we still have the energy to fight people? You want to wait until our heads are spinning before we do it, and this is the first caravan we've seen in all these days. Who knows when the next chance will come? Then maybe if we convince Reed to bring them with us, then at least our chances of winning are a little better. Enough. Stop bringing her up. What we're doing has nothing to do with her. Are you gonna count on her, a foreigner, saving us forever? Move. We're doing this. Unlucky reunion. Yeah, that Meyer might be kind of annoying. Victoria! Swamp Gloom Princer. Let's see.
随时准备入列。有一人传说，我不受理。准备进入预定位置。随时准备。你想打倒我？凭什么？命令を想像したことある。友も故郷も二度と戻らなくなることを。
Big chillin'.
不会让你们走近，我答应过大家。
Bro forgot to read game mechanics. It honestly doesn't matter. Who needs the game mechanics?
任何微小的震动都可能改变结果。
I guess all I care about is can I just spawn camp and kill them? The answer is yes. I mean, it's not that bad. It lowers attack speed. I believe it also lowers movement speed. But you goddamn Terrans, hell's buddy bells. Cut 'em down, teach 'em a little lesson, let them know never to lay hands on other people's stuff again. Right you are, let's teach the Terrans a lesson. You hear that, you bloody rabble? Ugh, my arm, you want to put us Terrans to death? Ha! Ha! Get them! We'll bash these bloody business doers in. We'll see who it is who dies. Ugh. Fall back. What are you using the sheath for? I paid you in cash. Shape up and act proper. The scabbard's enough. If you try anything else, I'll hold you off too. Besides, Bagpipe and I are just traveling with you. We're not your hired guards. Don't get it twisted. To hear monsters, you and that loon with the spear. Looks like what we heard before was true. Your average caravans don't dare cross through here. So you're the leader. Your clothes are an eyesore. Are we being lazy? Quick, Miss Chen, we're moving. There's too much high gameplay with freaking Genshin and Honkai. I just want to chill, man. I was scared all of a sudden, thought you were going to teach us Terrans a lesson. Dublin. Spectre Force, you goddamn maniacs. They were right. You run into those specters anywhere where Terrans are. That's right, you don't even need to piss us off. Just catch sight of us and you'll be slaughtered to a man. Really? After pursuing the Spectre Force with my friend for this long, I've gotten an idea of how they should seem. Ma'am, take the caravan out of here as fast as possible. Bagpipe and I will hold these bandits off. We'll pursue the Dublin forces afterwards on our own. We won't be troubling you again. Fine, fine. Ugh, damn it all. Still feel like chasing. Hey, Selman, think of something. We need to catch the bastards and do them in. Forget the bloody supplies. If they scarper, they'll report it to the police and the army dossiers. Think I'm too thick to figure that out? You're fully aware the force you're packing can't overcome my sword. That's why just now you try to bluff to scare us off. Tuh. So what do we do now? You've got some plan, right? No wonder you keep wearing this outfit even with all the risk it brings you. You want to be this group's leader. Fuck, I don't know why freaking Chen and Bagpipe are here. Ugh. I only gave you a light knock. Your head will be spinning for a bit, that's all. I've tested it plenty while saving hostages. I wouldn't mess it up. Oh, you're out. Did I use too much strength, or have you not eaten for days? Really? I'm sorry, but well, it's not right to loot either. You're not sprigging me. The instant the pike comes out behind her, Bagpipe instinctively blocks. Both sides fall a step back. After seeing who it is, Bagpipe's eyes widen. Reed? Are your wounds okay? Are you alright? What are you doing out here? And oh, wait. Wait, you're part of this robbery too? I can't just let you go then. No, I wasn't in time to stop them, but regardless, I don't want them to be hurt, and I don't want them to be captured either. Then we're here on about the same mission. No need to eye me that carefully now. Whether a Victorian serviceman or a Rhode Island operator, we can't be harming civilians. Me and Chen were here to mediate and all. I say that, but I'm sorry. I think my strength is a little much for the average folk. How's about I help you carry the unconscious someplace shady to rest? Where are they headed for this village? Please, I beg you, leave. The conflict is defused. Say it all you like, I'm still gonna help. You got something on your mind from the looks of it, nah? Alright, still not keen on speaking then. They never let me visit you at Rhode Island, and didn't tell me why either. Best I could guess was you didn't want to be reminded of County Hillock. So what are you doing out in these parts? And also, you look like you've been lost in the Barrens for days now. What's your mission even? Want me and Chen Chen to come with you? Oh, there's so much I want to ask you, my brain's going haywire. No, it's alright. I just happen to be invited by these people to escort them. In the past, I'd operated alone in the country for very long stretches. The dangers of the wild don't mean much to me. And also, I'm not here on a mission for Rhode Island. I'm pursuing some things related to Dublin. No wonder. Me and Chen Chen are doing the same. Must be why we ran into each other. You were so wounded back in County Hillock. Dublin must weigh like nothing else on you, too. There was a person in Dublin who changed my fate, so I want to see if I can still recover something from there. Whether it relieves the pain they bring or brings peace to myself. That's amazing. We were coming this way with a caravan looking for a Dublin unit who'd shown up here in recent. Don't know why, but when I saw you, that gave me the shock of my life. Thank goodness you lot in Dublin aren't tied up. Say, I'll go have a talk with Chen Chen, and we'll postpone the mission a few days. I bet she's just as willing to help these people out. How many people did I just now have shadowing me as I entered this parlor? Take a guess. I have no interest in the act you put on the myths of the Victorians and Terrans. Now I really should thank you for the pains you took rushing here to County Trent and drawing all the attention. I thought you'd spend a lot longer harboring yourself in the army. With the leader's plans progressed to this stage, there is no real difference between my identity as part of Duke of Wellington's Guard and that as an officer of Dublin. Seeing as you have Caster's people surveilling you, they must have long gained possession of that information. We have little nibbles of Dublin forces cropping up outside the cities, and the rumors of a major Dublin force passing through, all put on show for them. Sprinkle in a few mysterious trade orders, and now even the gossiping merchants know that Iron Duke has some design or other for the city. Everyone is quietly making the rounds, frantically guessing what the Duke is borrowing Trent as a stage for, very much as the leader expected. Yes, if they'd realize our true aim too soon, and every Duke learned of the leader's resolution in advance, I fear Oak Grove's outskirts would be in the same merry slate Londinium is. Say, are they more scared of the Sarkaz or of the Terrans? Trying to pit the Terrans against Sarkaz? You have no right to make such jokes, feline of Victoria. I hear the spy is dead. Yes, and we've had access to far less intel from inside Londinium ever since. It really is a shame. It's not just sarcasm there. You have some fairly interesting powers in hibernation. Your impulsiveness will ruin your plans. I've said as much before. Impulsiveness? My, scant few people would ever think that of me. You should perish thoughts of offering Mandragora survival. She was used by the elocutionists to try and fracture Dublin. She was meant to die in County Hillock along with those 6 traitors. Mandragora was the one the spy most trusted. Executing her before confirming if the sky had turned his coat, well, that wouldn't have been the wise move. Excuses. Even if it wasn't worth myself or you in person, the task of supporting the spy should have gone to someone more dependable. Oh, come to speak of us, you never sat well with me. Don't you find it such good news I've never had the chance to kill you? Meaningless glib blather. You can't be acting rashly before the Duke and the leader make their final decision. If you can discern the importance of Londinium intel, then of course I can. But whether we ultimately march on Londinium or not, there's still an unknown variable. Hinging upon our progress collaborating with the Duke, of course. Why else would I be so busy on my feet right now? Huh. I still remember the Enclave campaign 4 years ago, how bitterly we awaited the result of our partnership with the nobles, and meanwhile all our errant representatives were circling thousands of kilometers out, patiently pulling through several weeks just to tell the Duke one single thing. Harmony, you'd best stand on the leader's side, or else Mandragora is dead. I can stop investigating your whim to assist her, but she's still alive. Oh, you mean that dear pitiful Logshinny. We cannot have a repeat of the elocutionist conspiracy in County Hillock. Each day she lives is a threat to Dublin and the leader. The leader has assigned control of her whereabouts to you. Don't let personal considerations affect you any further, Harmony. You have little leeway left to fail. Oh, you do fantasize far too much about the emotional life of a professional spy. Fine, fine. You can stop boring me into me with your eyes, Brigadier, unless you want to help by applying my makeup. I do have a dinner party to attend. You know, I have no idea about the lore. I just freaking it's too deep for me. Not bad, Fion, just like back then. I always think you're a bit useless, but then every time you get something done. What use is borrowing this bit of rations going to do? Those two are Victorians, right? They say they'll go to the city to replace anything we don't need and sort you lot out some batons for self-defense. Shouldn't you be happy about getting a decent weapon? Fine, you listen to your little radio, check if they're broadcasting about merchants being looted. Maybe those cowards are scared Dublin will get back at them, might not even report it at all. Hey, Fion, what are you peering at back there? That infected handful. They've been following us at a far distance since we left the village. Still? Surprised they've kept up with us going so fast, and them with their sick legs and children to carry. Right, it must be murder on them coming with us. I'm worried for Morin. Her eyes went bad in that famine a few years back. She can't see the way in the dark. Now with the lights out happening, there's not even a single lamp left on. Oh no, that's sorry to hear. So can I ask what they're doing following us? Do we look like some kind of rescue team? I don't know, or probably it's the clothes you're wearing. Look, aside from me, everyone regards you like you're a real member of Dublin. And everyone knows Dublin's good to the Terrans. It's as simple as that. I'll go and see them. Oh, you made me jump. Your voice sounds a little quivery, say. You alright? It wouldn't be bad to have more people standing on guard duty. It'll be easier to avoid the patrol. I'll bring them with me.
一场高高在上的审判带不来任何实质的变化，更重要的是审判之后该怎么执行。博士，我看到了您的行动，干得不错。
Fine, I do Wen Yodo, even though I've already done all my required pulls. Wen Po. It's gonna be white. Blue, okay, even better. No streamer luck here, guys. Okay, we're going back. She dares not look upon her own shadow, but everyone has noticed the firelight by her side. Alright. Plain dress bard history records that out of a sense the war between the Draco and Aslan had become far too protracted and bitter. The final King Jael signed a peace treaty. Legends say he opted to melt down his soldiers' weapons as a sign of his determination, but his subjects could hardly accept such a defeat. Thus they conspired to revolt and assassinated the monarch. But just as you've referenced in many a speech, a single assassination is not enough to extinguish the Red Dragon's whole bloodline. No matter how the Victorians write the history books, they cannot change what facts we've seen with our own eyes. The Aslan promised to share Victoria's kingship with the Draco, yet didn't hand over the crown for nearly a century. With the Lion's ambitions so conspicuous to this point, I wonder, 6 blade marks stabbed King Jael, though, how many of them were by Aslan's hands? Not to mention the Draco King fleeing the royal capital after, fate unknown. And the kingdom of Terra without its ruler was subjugated under Victorian sovereign authority as if a matter of course. I presume it wasn't his own subjects who prevented the Draco's return to the city. This is why I very much enjoy your works based on the Terran's own ballads. You've led the people to see more of history's truth. I mean, if anything, any pull I put towards Reed probably gets me a little bit closer to getting Lin. Because it should be shared in terms of pity. The Chongyue, or however you say his name. Yeah, that's just whatever. To write this story, I saw players performing in the country and paid a visit to some wandering minstrels who inherited the Terran tradition. The 2.5 anniversary should be coming up at some point, so... Or 3.5? I never remember what freaking year everything is on. But what struck me most wasn't the endangerment of Terran culture, it was how so many lives were just slipping away. Perhaps you believe the Terran's ideal nation and a border Victoria are necessary for the Terran people to be saved. But I think if we ourselves can live better, if we can plant seeds of ideas for the many Terrans who can't read, won't we have won then and there against the Victorians who want us trapped in ignorance and poverty all of our lives? You want to bring that lot with you, don't even think about it. If you'll wait until they rest, if you'll share your own food with them, that I can accept. But we've avoided the patrol out of pure luck the last 2 days. What if we don't the next time? Those kids must be 7 or 8, can't fight back with weapons, can't run fast enough. What do you do about that? I can fight. I'll protect them. You want to cross through the uninhabited region to completely escape Trent's jurisdiction. I can aid you the whole way. I contacted the organization I belong to with the help of Bagpipe and Chen, my colleagues. I've confirmed the closest safe house is just along this way. If all we need is some tents and a small amount of emergency supplies for the countryside, they can transport it over without a problem. And I know, the territory over there belongs to a well-hearted duke. Once we're there, their army won't be after you anymore at the very least. Really, there's an honest-to-God noble who'd smile on people like us. He has reason to shelter the Terrans. And how do you know? Before long, perhaps we'll all know. We'll have ways to survive, bringing those people along. But don't forget, they're infected. We've constantly been scarping with our lives. What are we doing inviting death to our sides? And we don't know when the sick will have their flare-ups, or when they'll just kick the bucket outright. What's the point in you saving these sorts of people? I don't know. I only know that when someone saved me, I wanted to ask her the same. Why? Even though I was so close to death. What are you getting at? I'm an infected too. What? Oh, alright, doesn't mean much to be infected. Wouldn't have lived much longer than infected ourselves without your help anyway. Haha, still. Eripathy won't spread just because we're in the same place. It's okay, you can keep a bit of distance if you're scared. I don't mind. But take those infected with you on your escape. Trust me. Fine, I trust you. Selman, you heard what she said. I'm not fleeing. If you're gonna take the ones I can't fight, take them. Suit your own self. But my aim isn't gonna change one bit. I'm returning to Dublin. These two units have gone unaccounted for a week by now. We may surmise these circumstances relate to Dublin being similar to past Spectre Force incidents. Similar? No, the situation we're looking at now is completely unalike. These rebels previously would muster a single armed force to surface somewhere, launch an attack, and that was it. Now, violence which we suspect to be Dublin incited is blanketing every corner of southern Victoria. Is a Marquis of Trent sticking fast to his orders? Obviously, no matter the volume of suspicious circumstances reported outside nomadic cities, we must have clarity on them. Get this entire region's slate of affairs under control. But of all the small-scale conflicts, only the arson at Red Ridge seems truly suspect, and there is no follow-up on the fire there either. Maybe we should set these particular dossiers aside for now, or should we leave them? Please lend said dossiers to me, officers. And refrain with the greetings. Also, just as before, no need to make a record of access to those dossiers. This arson may be worth a deeper investigation. Wait. Oh my god, I just realized Locha being able to debuff that fucking Mara with draining hit is the best shit ever. I'm not pulling Locha. Have a sip of water, old Brendan. I picked some berries too. This place can't be too far from a settlement, what with a grove this thick. How about you, Morin? Wait, you don't eat stuff this sweet, do you? Thank you. Hey, how long are we stopping here for? While Bagpipe and Chen are fetching things for us, we've all knackered as is anyhow. I got a chance to catch our breaths. Don't worry, I guarantee we'll find the closest village before lights out. We're far enough from all the trouble we made anyhow. If we hang around here and hold for a few days, we oughtn't get caught. Fine, pick me some berries too. First time seeing you happy in days. Really? I've just been glad Reed's so reliable and her two friends too. Kind souls, plus they can fight. You sure? It's not just how your days of suffering are almost at an end. We're going to keep pushing into the waste, find Dublin, and join them. You though, I bet you prefer to stay behind in village life, or I can't say that for sure. I just can't get over you lot doing things this way. We were all happy just with escaping at first, the further the better. That was before we ran into Selman. She only got to persuade you all to join Dublin once stuff got tougher on us. None of you ever seen a real Dublin army, have you? Are you still thinking about Reed? She contacted Rhode Island's in full view of us after borrowing our comms equipment. Getting supplies has been smooth too. All signs indicate that she's not out to trick us. I'm not suspecting her as much, I'm just a little concerned. Did she really make a recovery? Granted, she's a Volvier, but I'm still a little surprised at all the life in her. She gave my hands a right shot swinging at me before we recognized each other. Suppose that's a good thing though, just I can't shake the feeling there's weight on her mind. Whatever it is, she wants to do it, but it seems to hurt her so much. Plus what? The way she fights just seems somehow familiar. Did I meet her even before Outcast brought her in back at County Hillock? Oh, aye, there you are, Reed. Perfect. Me and Chen have been talking. We're talking about which way we're headed. This route happens to take us to a nearby settlement. No, we can't keep going in this direction. I'll tell the others to stop. Are you saying? Chen, on your 9. The cavalry saber concealed in the bushes snap in two. The one holding it doesn't shift an inch. Chen is sure her slash didn't harm anyone. But out from under the bush is still a hint of spilled blood. Blood deep and dark, old and dry. Is this dead patrol? No, they're from the barracks. There's more over there. Traces of bolts, sabers, and arts. This battle probably happened a week ago. This barracks unit was ambushed and slaughtered to a man. Who is the enemy then? How come they didn't leave a single corpse behind? They've left. They've all left? With the battle this fierce, both sides should have taken equal damages, right? Bagpipe, remember the group of soldiers we discovered before encountering Reed? They had uncanny arts planted in them, eyes full of fire. Reed, you're in County Hillock too. Didn't you see soldiers like that? Yes, I know of them. They're parted souls. Those with the misfortune of being deceased yet unable to rest. You're not saying the ones who killed those soldiers are dead themselves and they're still marching even after? The traces of Firelights we were chasing before resembles those two. It's the only possibility. Chen, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I can't quite accept it if that's what this is. What kind of person would keep on controlling them even after they're dead? That's just far too cruel. Selman, like hell they're dead. You're all hauling up the wrong tree. But we saw with our own eyes. You saw something somewhere else. I only believe what I see myself. Dublin defeated a Victorian unit. They won, moved on to the next place, and now they're prepping to save more Terrans. You know, are you worried about something? Don't act like my da. If Fion's lot want to go with you, suit their own selves, but I know you're not in with us. It's those two Volvier you're with. You just want to settle us someplace and sure we're not going to die today. You'll make us live the same old life Victoria had for us, not knowing if we'll see tomorrow. And after that, you'll abandon us. Am I not right, leader? No, don't call me that. Right, no. Single word I've heard most of you so far. I'm heading off now, going the way you didn't want us to go. It's only war and death, isn't it? Like the Terrans haven't seen plenty of both. I don't want to hear an outsider tell me no ever again. I know she's fuming, but truth is it's not you who's pissing her off. I know. So are you alright? I want to go with her. There might still be unexploded mines and lingering arts left on the battlefield. It'll be dangerous to keep going that way. Can you call the rest over for me? Didn't you want these Terrans to steer clear of the battlefield? But Selman says it's their choice. And I promise to escort them until I'm no longer needed. They're so ungrateful! Fuck these Terran!
听好了，小家伙们，待会儿上了战场，你们也要听博士的。
あ、本気で行くよ。ビクトリアのバグパイプ、波状棒と共に参る。思考を明晰にするは戦術。
一歩も引かない。命令は子供たちの悲鳴が聞こえる。
My nugget to get crispy. What is that even supposed to mean?
是帮助大家的时候了。思考を明晰にするは戦術。邪悪を壊滅しうるは勇猛さ。
我会完成作战任务。
わあ、みんな、こっち来て。
Oh, I see. My nuggets.
行くぞ。こちら10、武器を下ろせ。
After 2 attacks, the next thing does splash damage.
先解决这一路。
Okay, I think we're good.
命令を。
Just 1 nugget?
実現させたものが国際
Only 1 nugget for
君は気づ
breakfast?
いていない。
What?
意志を堅固にするは規律。待機中。
这把审判锤分量很重，希望你们做好准备。
I had pot stickers. Whack! Whack!
好像是好自由。嘿。戦場。それは変わらないもの。大地こそが我が友。
I gotta. Well, I can probably wait a while to make dinner. Cause I wanna finish all this tonight. I mean, technically, if I wanted to go fast, we just skip story and just do the gameplay. But I want to read. Sigh. Never imagined we get a hot meal indoors, safe and sound after so many days on the run. That bagpipe girl must be the darling of everyone. We were all gushing at her about how good her stew was. I want bagpipe to cook for me. Let's skip the story. Fuck you. I want to read. She's definitely not bad on that front. How's your discussion on settling down? Has it been smooth? We're all decided. Anyone who can't handle rushing will stay behind. They'll borrow 2 storehouses to tuck away in for the next 2 days. Refugees scuffling with caravans but never actually stealing anything, that's dead common. The law won't get hung up on that. In a few days, they won't be mentioning it on the radio anymore. We won't need to hide. Then we can get to building our own houses. But the few with oripathy will be living a bit ways out from the village. You can't say please and expect me to actually comply. You gotta put some skin in the game. Yeah, there are. If anyone sheltered us while we were still running, we wouldn't be in this style of a state now. Not that it's anyone's fault. Didn't used to be much hassle taking in a bunch of refugees or the like, but life's getting scarier for everyone now. Look at Selman de Colleen. If she and her brother had some place to take them in, she wouldn't be running from settlement to settlement kicking up all this fuss. She could spend the night in the village like us, but she's all stubborn about hiding outside. She stole a man's stock piece here once, see, and now she's awkward about running into him. You never heard it from me. You let her know, she'll be on my case about disrespecting her again. Good evening. Oh, Morin, what are you doing here so dark out? I'll send you back while the lamps are still lit. Thank you, but I'm used to making my way in the dark by now. Is Reed here if you don't mind? You're looking for her? She went out on her own. Maybe Reed's got something on her mind. Selman hasn't spoken so much as a word to her since she got here. Don't worry, Bagpipe's gone to find her. Actually, put it this way. Our bigger concern is if Reed gets annoyed by the noise. Wait, I can't remember. Did Star Rail story actually have a skip option? Obviously, freaking Genshin doesn't. We read that all. Whoa, sorry. It's alright. Oh, this music though. Oh, is it Bonding time? Oh, I wasn't watching now. Didn't think there'd be anyone here. It all goes pitch dark every time they sound the bell. Takes a moment for my eyes to adjust. Lucky it's you I ran into. You might have knocked anyone else clean over. Thought they said they wouldn't need anyone on watch tonight though. I just wanted to sit for a while outside. Oh, it's the smell of the hay, isn't it? Wonderful that. Hay? Yeah, that's hay piles over there. Been ages since I was around the smell, so I came out to get a proper whiff of them. Back when I was prepping to get into military school, I'd have headaches from studying so much theory. So I'd just get onto a hay pile and lie back for a bit, and I'd feel right as rain again. Mom always told me off for being lazy, said I shouldn't quit thinking about questions just because thinking gets too hard. But having too much stuff going on in your brain does wear a person out, you know? So give me your hand a sec. Come on here now. Here, let's lie down together. Just for a bit. Yay! I'm not so good at thinking over stuff, so I might not be of much help to you, but the hay will be, I'm sure of it. CG, let's go, baby. I like it. It's cute. I ship it. Hup. Bagpipe relaxes and lies back on the hay pile, lightly humming a folk song she learned just a while ago from the farmers. A gentle night breeze passes by. Reed follows her suggestion and takes a deep breath. But what she smells isn't the aroma of hay, it is instead damp mud and ash. When it hits me how I've spent 3 years without going home, it always feels so funny. Think about it. The ground's waiting for you to till it, the wheat's waiting for you to reap it. Spend 1 year away and you miss an entire go-round of all the important stuff, every bit of it. I can't even get my letters from home until the next time I'm back on Rhode Island. Do you miss home very much? Of course I do. You? Were you from County Hillock? No, but I used to live in a city about the same as County Hillock. Flushed red bricks, gray pavements, buildings 2 or 3 floors high, flowering vines growing around the windows. I yearn after those peaceful times a lot. There are so many books, old books at home, and some manuscripts too. I like to hide away in the study and lock the door so I wouldn't have to hear anyone talk to me. Oh, you had piles of family making a racket then, or was it visitors all the time? No, thankfully, just I could avoid so much trouble if I hid. I could see into the street from the window in there. I'd see my parents come back after a day of work. I would love to go back there if I could. Oh, so the place isn't I'm sorry, I'm making it worse for you, aren't I? It's okay, it was all so long ago. I might not be much different to the ordinary people whose lives were ruined at County Hillock, or to those refugees leaving their home behind. They can all settle down here and rebuild their houses, but where's their homeland? And the ones who are forced out even further, where are they fleeing to? You're having trouble answering these questions just on your lonesome, aren't you? Well, I'm not saying it's no use thinking over them. If you can't come up with an answer alone, we can think together. Whenever I had a question I couldn't fill in, I'd always bother Chen Chen about it. And later down the line, I'd prattle on at my captains. I mean, they found me annoying as flip, but still they chat with me every time, help me solve issues. It's all Bagpipe's harem. Bagpipe has Chen, Bagpipe has Reed, Bagpipe has fucking Horn. God damn. What about you? You got anyone to speak your mind to, like a sister or a schoolmate or someone in arms? That's sort of... There's my older sister. But you don't get along much? No, I shouldn't be saying this, I shouldn't. You know? Solomon was right about one thing, actually. You're always saying no out of habit. But she misunderstood a little. It's when you're talking about yourself that you're most fond of saying no, like... I can't put it into words. It's like you're straining to break away from something. I've been told something like that before. Oh, what, really? She saved me and told me I didn't have to seek death, that I could dodge destiny. Outcast, eh? There's something she would say. I regret not having it in me to say anything more to her. I want to ask her so badly. Why save me? What did she see in me? Oh, I'm not sure how she'd answer myself. But you know, Reed, why not ask yourself before asking her? What do you see in yourself? Myself? Oh, someone's over there. With the way they feel about it, I think it's Mora and she can't see at night. Gosh, why is she out here by herself then? Miss Mora, need any help from us? Oh, you just stand still there for a sec. We'll be right over. Thank you. Where's Reed, can I ask? They said she'd gone out. I'm right here. Sorry, excuse me, but am I able to go with you? I don't mind where it is. I've still got some strength. I can work and fight. You want to fight? I do. They all say I won't live much longer, that my only option's dying without a word in some corner. I don't agree with that. If you want to survive as a Terran, then change workshops and accept lower pay. If you want to survive as with Eripathy, then move out and get to the infected neighborhood. I'm done listening to all that. Reed, I used to not be this way, but then I met you. They tell me you're an infected too. It's you who convinced Selman and the rest to bring us here. You trust me, like Fion does. Please, no pressure. I don't want to be a burden on you or anyone. I just want to do something, anything. People like me have nothing left to lose as is. wait, 30 days. 7, 14, 21, 28. I think that's fine. Reed, for now, let's go together. How about it? To the red-haired Rouvier, the question's not one Reed needs to respond to because she starts pulling Reed along before an answer even comes. Reed takes a glance back at their visitor. She knows Morin has night blindness and needs someone to guide the way when darkness falls. With little time to hesitate, Reed extends a hand to Morin. Let's go. Here you finally are, Miss Harmony. I was beginning to think I'd never see you today. A wine tasting courtesy of the Viscount, how could I ever miss it? But of course, a friend of the Marquis of Trent, you're the Viscount's guest of honor. Man, I have to miss another 5-star. Freaking... My friend still is 100% freaking completion. He pulled Harmony and, Reed. I'm missing Hibiscus Altar... Dagda, Highmore, but Highmore's eventually. I'm missing Heidi, which is chapter 10. And then I'm probably gonna have to miss Harmony since I'm not pulling this either. And then there's someone else. Harmony, Iris, Dagda. Though I don't remember if Dagda was event 2. Oh well. It's all thanks to your introducing me that I closed out that bit of prior business. I've been looking for an opportunity to thank you all this time. Oh, it was quite nothing, Mr. Hall. I've no noble personage or even property in my name. At most, I'm just a messenger, scampering around so the ones in charge don't have to. Who might he be? The council's pet, a Mr. Fisher. Oh, well, I've certainly never heard of him before. He only transferred to this county a short while ago. Youngsters like him tend to have to break their backs a little if they want a quick promotion. Haha, universal truth. No, you're too modest. Oh yes, I hear from some friends that the Duke's armies are very frequently on the move now. They put every core city on their duchies under strict martial law. You've always been on top of the news. Could you lend me a sly word whether war seems imminent? The papers certainly forecast it, don't they? After all, the Duke's fleets did trundle up to Londinium's walls some while ago. I'm not much concerned with the sarcasm. I'm referring to between the Dukes, ahem, based on hearsay, that is, just hearsay. There's been a lot of Originium fuel circulating into County Trent. The Marquess and the Duke of Castor have always been jolly with each other, but County Trent and the Iron Duke's duchy share a border. My, Mr. Hall, all intercity fuel trade requires inspection and approval. I presume you have some very good friends in municipal management, no? Haha, just for business purposes. Miss Harmony, you might not follow the war too closely, but you came in from another city, didn't you? You've been fortunate not to run into any hassle when you did, but I do ask you to take care on the return journey. I hear it's hideous in the villages beyond the nomadic cities. There's rebel elements popping up now and then, even a case of arson a few days ago. What sort of rebel elements are these to earn your attention? Attention is a strong word. Similar things happen in spades anywhere the bumpkins live. It's that fire that's strange. Haha, this might not be true. So pretend I'm just telling you about some country tale. Eyewitnesses say that fire wasn't quite your ordinary one. It was ferocious as an explosion, but not a hint of Originium explosives was found where it happened, and the nightmarish effort it took to extinguish it. Oh, that look of despair. Oh, that's good. That's good. Unusual fire, all too likely to be a coincidence, but all too familiar of a description to her. Could it be Loshini? Harmony is stunned. The Brigadier's warning has certainly roused some anxieties deep in her heart. Ever since that Rhode Island ship had sailed into Victoria, she'd been absent any hold of information on Loshini. Someone without a doubt has been helping Rhode Island's cover their tracks. Clearly this pharmaceutical company was not as simple as she first assumed. And on the same coin, a Lotiani aboard Lode Island would be a Lotiani immensely difficult for the rest of Victoria's powers to find. So why? Why would Lotiani leave the ship? Why would she surface somewhere so close to Blana? From behind Harmony there is a gaze. Her every move has been closely watched since the second she stepped into the ballroom. But it is this moment when the gaze truly focuses on her. Miss Harmony? I'm sorry, I was just thinking about the dance tonight. Say, what color earrings would I be best off wearing? Sir, I've assumed you've seen the relevant dossier as well as my reports. I suggest we commence operation immediately. Very well, very well done, youngster. Have you tried the whiskey-filled chocolates out on the table? I hope you're well, Duke of Castor. I didn't expect you to grace this party, let alone be waiting here. Duke of Castor. Who could miss such a grand soiree? Just listening to the chamber performance blows my cares away, even from behind my partition. I do hope you're enjoying yourself too. Oh my god, this Musis fan art. It's so good. Yes, I like it. I'm still under you. I can't be complacent. Our every effort is made so that the masses can enjoy their serene lives. Intelligence officers may be the lookouts, forced to keep a tense nerve even in times of peace, but you'll have your serenity one day. Lest I forget, how's your health? My gratitude for your concern, Duke. It floors me that you note the infection of an average intelligence officer like myself. Wait, so if 3.8 is here, I'd be 6 weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's probably what they're doing. They're probably releasing Focalors for the anniversary. Release the Archon? That's probably it. Don't be nervous. You're not hiding anything. As I say, you've done very well. By way of a reward, would you like a promotion after your mission is over, or would you like to quit? I'm quitting!
不错嘛，我又学到了几招。
Wait, is there even a good place to farm? Wait, rewards, don't care. Guaranteed polyester, don't care. Common, rare. Oh, I got too many. The licking flames distort the air and people's dreams. Not really. SC6. I mean, I guess we'll find out when we get there. Guys, I see people ahead. There's army. That way, 7 o'clock. Oh, no worries. We got the message. But are you sure that's what you saw? There's not a hint of human life anywhere in these parts. Why would the army be patrolling out here? Hand me the binoculars. There's very little terrain nearby that would conceal us. Everyone, please hide here for the moment. I'll go with you. I'd know the Victorian army more thorough than you, nah? Thank you. Someone come take a look. If I crouch under this rock, the enemy won't see me from any angle, will they? Ha, not half bad. Good then. God, we go through the waste for 4 days without a peep, no catastrophe or savage beasts. And then we hit a roadblock at the very end, just our lucky figure. Now stop sticking your head out, keep low with the rest of us. It's been so long, you still don't trust Reed's lot? No, as a matter of fact, it's the bland type like her I least trust. She only wants to do stuff that doesn't offend nobody. That way if she ever makes a mistake, it won't really be her fault. You just don't like her stopping us from going to Dublin. Maybe, but I don't say nothing to you, neither do I. Confirmed. It's a small-scale Victorian deployment, but judging by their equipment, not from a nearby barracks. Their weapons are highest caliber. If we fought, there's very little chance we'd win. They might not be searching for us, but just in case, we'd better hide ourselves. Based on their current advance, they won't catch sight of us. You know, I'm actually kind of surprised. Like, well, actually, no, they've done it on occasion. They'll, like, place units at the start, and I'm just like, why don't we just do, like, a... do, like, a hit and run, like, a sneaky hit and run or something? But they have tried some stuff like that. I mean, there's limiting gameplay, I guess, for tower defenses. You don't give me lip for what I say because nobody listens to what I say. Anyhow, I'm just jealous of how she's taken over my show. Those troops are coming closer. Budge over, give me a good position to watch them. Like, I don't think we're gonna be getting another co-op event. I actually really like the co-op events. AKA, let me freaking carry, whatever. I'm begging you, don't cause trouble now. Well, what's happening? Are they scuffling? Some group ambushed them at a pass, so if we'd not stopped to hide just now, we would have been sprung too. Who was waiting there? Hey, I can't make out too clearly, but those clothes they're wearing look a bit like Selman's, don't they? Why would he need co-op in Star Rail though? It's literally freaking turn-based one whatever. The best thing you could do is probably like a world raid or something. That's gotta be Dublin, right? Dot dot dot. Dublin. One dawn 8 months ago, just after I finished work, I was eating breakfast in a cafe in County Peninsula. A voice came from my radio. It said with their flames they would cleanse Victoria of filth. In the name of the Terrans, they would declare war on Victoria. They called themselves Dublin. Just a bunch of greedy thugs trying to give themselves a title. Thugs. The ones common sense would identify as thugs more or less all died in County Hillock. Someone intended on using an entire city of Terrans to test the Terran-born Duke, but didn't anticipate the leader of Dublin conversely exploiting that. At the conclusion of the incident, Dublin successfully purged all unstable elements from the city, and further gained the surrounding Terran populace's support, escaping intact directly under Victoria's nose. Dublin's leader is undeniably well versed in the behavior of nobility. It's no wonder considering her background and her hidden supporters. That leader and her intelligence personnel are both fully aware that it was the barracks that sheltered masses with dirty bombs. That being why the truth of the County Hillock incident will never be traced nor pursued. Yeah, I guess the best thing you could do is, yeah, world raids or something, like what Precon did. Like you have the Mecha Lima or fighting against fucking I forgot the guild name, but yeah. Just hit a HP limit, contribute whatever, get rewards. That'd be nice. Genshin hasn't really done well. Actually, no. The last event, the the pseudo contingency, you could do it co-op, but yeah. However, I've read the reports, all the reports. Some say the Dublin leader that appeared in County Hillock on that day is more than one person. That doesn't match up with the other intel we got from the Dukes. Have you seen these two jigsaw puzzles? They're exactly the same. They're exactly the same. As long as the forms are identical, they can fill the same holes, and the moment you put them together like this, most people can cast an eye, would treat one piece like the other's shadow. Shadow. So that's why you suspect that previous arson case, the one tied to Dublin. It was only a suspicion at first. It was until the reaction from that Harmony feline fed me some interesting information. Who knew the Duke of Wellington would actually turn a blind eye to King Gale's other descendant walking freely in the wilds? Madam, as you predicted, someone took the people from those farming households in for questioning this morning. I looked into it. They weren't wearing barracks uniform. It seems they're not part of the nearby patrol at all. Say, if I asked for a holiday and went out traveling, what would the better location be, Lithuanian or Kashmir's? Or maybe I'll run off even farther, just maybe like my good friend from the school days, I'll take a trip to Yan. I don't understand what you mean. Forget it. We'll be caught in a snare if we don't tiptoe, but either way we do need to remedy it as best we can. Ensuring her safety is priority number one. You mean my dear friend Loshini. You're sure she's the one they're looking for? Well, can you be sure she's not? We've got no other choice. Who let her be the leader too? We can't allow her to fall into anyone else's hands, especially not the Duke of Casters. Come now, we need to pay the Brigadier a visit. My gut says we should. Wait. Summon, what do we do? You said you'd take us to shelter with the Dublin squad, and now they're right here in front of us, fighting with Vic's army. My gut says we should head in and help the Terran's troops. My brain says we need to show some loyalty before we join them. I mean, right? Right? No, no. What are you people on about? We'd never beat those servicemen. And besides, what would Reed's lot think? They're hiding over there. They're not that near us. Maybe they won't see what we're doing. Oh god, down goes another. We can't just sit here watching Terrans get beat to death, can we? Fionn, take a look behind. How are Reed's bunch reacting to this? All men pull back. Prioritize shaking pursuit. Our investigatory mission is complete. We can't waste our time here. Dublin's deployed far too many diversions. Captain, human activity at 3 o'clock. Who are they? Seemingly normal refugees with improvised weapons. Initiate contact, confirm the true situation. All men prepare to fight on 2 fronts. Beware the possibility of Dublin's regular forces disguising as civilians. Hey, what's he doing poking his head from the bunker? Oh, the unit noticed him. They're coming over. I'll try and see about negotiating with them. I'll tell them it's all civilians here. No. Terra's local barracks would never trust civilians. They've never protected us before. Hi there. We're Terrans. We want to join Dublin. Hello? What the hell? Fall back. Retreat ASAP. These 2 units are attacking us simultaneously. But aren't Dublin meant to be defending Terrans? I can't give you a response. All I know is these soldiers are already dead. Standard pile driver Spear Vauvier. You're ex-Tempest platoon personnel, aren't you? Oh, have we met before? Well, since we're not strangers, that makes things easier. We're not an ambush, and we've got nothing to do with Dublin either. You've gotten the wrong idea about us. Ha, surprise, surprise. That Fisher boy only sent me out here to follow a trail. And here we've run into his true goal head first. No, I'd wager he sent me specifically to wait until you ran into us. Bagpipe, why are you protecting the Terrans? Because that's our duty, right? The Terrans are Victorians, too. If we've cleared up the misunderstanding, are we able to ceasefire? Attacking civilians is a violation of military discipline. What gives you the continued right to say that? What's wrong with me? You seem to not be duly aware of the situation here. Oh, excuse me, I'm very well aware. My friend said you wouldn't protect Terran civilians, and I've just confirmed she was right. You're the same as that old Colonel Hamilton back in County Hillock, nah? So even though I'm discharged, I'm positive now I still have to fulfill a Victorian serviceman's duty and do what you're not willing to do. Defend these civilians' lives. Let me ask, have you ever inquired into that white-haired Vivier's identity? Come on, let's go, Selman. Everyone's looking to escape. No. Ugh, now's not the time to be stubborn. I know this is hard to take. What Chen said seems true. So let's get away for now? Come on, survive first, and we can talk after. Who's that you're staring at? Wait, it can't be. Dublin soldier. Bro. Uh-oh. There, Fionn. Your wound is like last time's. It's not too severe. But it'll still hurt. Ugh, that's whatever. As long as I don't see blood, anything else flies with me. Coward, you said you'd help Selman. All you'd done was scarp it with her on your shoulders. Now, nothing wrong with that. At least we made it out. All of us made it out. Reed, I need to ask something. I've been wanting to ask it all day. You and your friends seem to be professionals with this stuff, but I still just don't get. Why do you say these Dublin people are dead? Is there any off chance they're sleepwalking? Maybe it's that witchcraft in the legends that makes people lose their consciousness. Just on the off chance that they're sleepwalking, we could go and wake them up. We can't. I wish I could provide you some consolation, but it's a unique Originium arts I recognize. Alright, I'm just a little frightened myself. What's Selman gonna think, though? What's wrong with her? Oh, go on and tell Fionn, we all know her. You're the one vouching for her since the beginning. She's a good girl. We wouldn't have come with her otherwise. The truth is, I actually know her because she robbed me once. We sat down and got talking with one another in the end, of course. She just wanted a pair of sturdy boots. Her brother was out in the snow that winter with half his soles worn through. Feel frostbitten, something hideous. So you gave her yours? No, actually. Her brother went off to Dublin. I was only in time to cover for them. Couldn't do them any solid boots quickly enough. Fact is, she's been out here this whole time looking for her brother. Wait, what? I didn't even long hold it. I didn't even long hold it and it freaking did the what? 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 She brought us to join Dublin just for that? No, it's more than that. She wanted to join Dublin along with her brother. She just ran away on the way there. That was 2 years ago. Think how tough it must have been on her catching up to her brother today. Say, how do you think my family's doing? They're still back living in the village. It's about time they replaced the roofing straw. Once we find a place to stop over, I'm getting a messenger to ask how they're doing. It's alright, I'm sure they're fine. I'll help you find that messenger, come then. Grand. But where are we going? We chased a Dublin squad that was all dead people, and Selma's not found her own. Where should we head now? Reed, what are you... Reed? Where'd she go? Wait, let me take a look. When were the Archons released? Genshin version. 13, 14, 15, 3 less than in the day. I just don't get it. What kind of Originium arts is this? Makes me sick looking at it. Wait, so Raiden was... Was it 2.1? Yeah, and then Dong was 1.1. Oh, he was 1.1. And then Venti was 1.4. Oh wait, no, Dong was 1.5. Yeah, 1.5. And then was Nahida 3.1? No, Nilu was phase 2. So then Nahida was 3.2? Yeah. I see. Yeah, I think that's probably what they're gonna do. They'll release 4.0 in August, and then 4.1 should be the Archon. That'd probably be the killer. She squats behind a boulder looking around. The soldiers keep marching for their heart's destination upon the Twilight Wilds. I think what will probably end up happening is that people will come back for Fontaine for 4.0, and then when they release the Archon, people will probably stay playing. I think that's probably what they want to do. That's my guess anyways. It seems logical. Come back to play and then you freaking see Focalors and you want to roll. The colors of the Dublin uniform fade beneath layers of mud and soil. They seem as if held in a silhouette, one lit by a glimmer from somewhere unknown. I just need to pounce then retreat and I'll be fine. 100 meters. They turn to walk straight for the boulders Solomon hides behind. He's at the back of the squad. Looks like he didn't get to be the leader. Made himself out so bloody big in all his letters. They're headed for... Yeah, same direction as the letters said. 50 meters. Selman clenches the wooden cudgel in her fist. Is the city you're heading for that important to you? Who's telling you to head on? You'd still go even if you died? Even though you're being battered by wind and rain and all these people one after another, you'd still go? 30 meters. She remembers the first time she saw Dublin's troops 2 years ago. They told her once she was decided she could come to them, the leader would give all Terrans a place to survive. I'm sorry, I never could be as sure as you were. You never looked back, but I did. She rushes out, like those Victorian soldiers in the daytime did, like Chen did. These people that have ceased to be can be knocked down again, so long as every attack comes swiftly enough, ferociously enough, until those sleep peacefully in the soil of Terra, never called to stand again. Did they change Terra's spelling? It's not T-E-R-R-A now, it's just T-A-R-A. The soldier does not fall. He merely stumbles for a moment from the blow to the neck and then swiftly spins around, pulling out his sword. He is ghastly silent. You lot, out of my way. I'll send you all right back with him. No, I will. I'll do it. I was just here to find my brother, but you're all the same. Silently attacks. Piss right off. At least say something. They're dead. They can't say anything. Square, that was... bloody hell. Head, chest, it's just not enough, is it? Her cudgel flies out of her hand, blocking the next attack, and in that moment the soldier's mask falls off. She feels a sort of illusion for a moment, as if the way he brandishes his weapon slows for a fraction of an instant. As if her brother is about to give him both his hands, like when Victoria's police accosted them in younger times, shielding her in his embrace. And then she sees his familiar face all so clearly. His forehead drips no blood, and his eyes turn no look to his little sister. Those eyes gazed to the distant vague horizon, a rage of firelight longing burning within. Just like the night he decided to seek out Dublin. And Dublin soldiers surround them. Selman blankly, dazedly reaches a hand out to the man before her. Admiration, aspiration, guilt, regret, all swallowed up by the ice-cold fire that her fingertips blush. Fear. All she is left with is fear, the fear of that longing maniacal burning unto death. And before time can move again, flames blaze high, incandescent sparks blossoming into the night sky. So close her fingers could almost touch, a flame blooms forth and vanishes again before she can grasp it. The soldier falls over to the ground and never makes another whisper. He's dead! He's dead! Scorching dream.
我们没有时间犹豫，火线背后还有人等着我们。
Ah?
みんなこっち来て。進め。意志を堅固にするは規律。
They reach out that far?
一歩も引かない。有什么问题需要解决？命令を。地が崩れていくのを感じる。
思考を明晰にするは戦術。
准备进入预定位置。我去那边。
わあ、リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。
一步。
我不会让你们走的。
I didn't see what the tank did.
我入右敌。
邪悪を壊滅しうるは勇猛さ。是帮助大家的手。
我们たちの悲鳴が聞こえる。说，雷送到草丛里去。
Or actually, it doesn't do that much damage. If even freaking Slumberfoot can live through this, then I think we're fine.
尽快离开，拜托了，みんなこっち来て。思考を明晰にするは戦術。
我会完成作战任务。明白，断头，开动。
地が崩れていくのを感じる。
杀死会抽什么？我入右敌。
思考を明晰にするは戦術。
我在你旁边。什么？我入右敌。こちらチェン。
任何微小的震动都可能改变结果。
让我在这场风暴必须摧毁一切障碍。
思考を明晰にするは戦術。
断头，开动。
命令を。地が崩れていくのを感じる。不，我不会让你们走近。我答应过大家。意志を堅固にするは規律。
明白，好的。骚扰最近的敌人。
控制好距离。嘿。第一こそがな。
什么？我入右敌。
Oh wait, the sleep thing actually still works? That's actually funny. If it's dead, it just passes right over. Ah. Are you scared of my fire? But your fire is the same as mine, Loshini. It will burn forever. Trying to smother its glow to extinguish it is futile. You needn't fear it being seen. Why don't you let those who see it fear it? I know that in my body is a fire. If I feel for it, I can feel it burning me. After so long, the pain of it comes to me even before my thoughts do. Our parents warned us to take these flames we were born with and swallow them down, hide them away, and never let them be seen by anyone. But I knew how my sister would secretly burn whatever she didn't want, and then she'd get something better for it. Can I do that too? Dad, can you take me to the bookshop? That morning, I thought I'd try acting like her, talking to my parents in her tone of voice. Every time she told them what she wanted, they'd agree with panic, like they were being burnt, yet with love. She and I had the same appearance and voice, and wore the same clothes, so why couldn't I disguise myself as her? I want to read the sequel to the Steam Knights adventures, since I don't want anyone asking me how come a Victorian wouldn't like stories about the Steam Knights. Tomorrow, Loshini. Your mom and dad are exhausted for today. Dad, did you recognize me? Of course. How could I ever mix my own two daughters? I only realized after that snowy night that he didn't say yes because what I wanted was far too small. She wouldn't have gone begging to our parents just for a new look. I followed behind her, running as fast as I could. The bells to reunite sounded, yet we no longer could go home. Ablana, where are you going? Where do you want to go? I don't know. Nowhere is home, so go knock on any old door. You just need to be honest to whoever opens it and tell them that we have no home to go back on this snowy festive night. No matter how cold they are, surely they'll sympathize with two children. Go, Loshini, don't be afraid, I'm watching over you. Under the glow of icy purple flames, I knocked haltingly on the first door. The flames had taken the lives of those who hated so only moments ago, but I wondered so badly if those flames would come to kill me instead if I did anything wrong. But what did Sir do wrong? I heard there was a play being put on in the Terran's neighborhood, hence why on such a snowy night, Sir never came home for being so late. My sister made me sit down in his study. She simply warmly stared at me and never answered my questions straight. I knew she was very disappointed in me. I should have been able to reach my own answers. He taught us to ruin the lives of the innocent, to stir the schism between the Terrans and Victorians. He even plotted his fallen opponent's murder just like those Victorians killed our parents. So taking his life was what we were meant to do. My sister could always do the right things while I never could. She gifted her spear to me, yet every time I gripped it, that pike burning with flames, I shivered, just as I did now. Am I right? No, Loshini. Death is merely there to guide him to his dreams. He showered us in conspiracy and political trickery, peeled us of our freedom and dignity. That was detestable, yet detest all there is all that there is. Big Reed. But even while he'd mastered his methods, his sights were set too narrow. That's what was truly regrettable. He wanted little more than the control of a brittle fantasy nation, with us serving as the puppets that would crown him. The power I look to have in my hands is far grander than the daydreams of that madman. What about you, Loshini? What do you want? Yes, it's good that your blood and your upbringing have you carry yourself high, but if you want for nothing, then what sort of position am I meant to leave by my side for you? Go on, this is your wish on a snowy night. I'll let you aspire as grand as you want. I didn't answer. I only held the tiniest dream like the warm fire of a hearth. I didn't dare answer. No matter, my sister. If you don't know where your own desires lie, then first become me. From here on, you and I are both the leader. When stationed intently, that flame watched me, and I became her shadow. Have you been after me all this time? Since when? No, I simply heard from Fionn that you'd seen your brother in the squad at part of Dublin. I guess you'd come here yourself. It's not as if it's any of your business. I've been searching all this way for these dead controlled by art, so I want them to find peace. And I can accomplish that just as you saw just now. Gone are the marching footfalls of soldiers. The barons turn silent. Neither of them say a word. After a while, Solomon squats down, brushes the dirt off the mask, then carefully places it over the soldier's face. Meddling Lil Fionn, did he tell you about the first time I ever saw Dublin? We were in the city, me and my brother. If we were in good moods, we'd line up to see if any of the pubs needed last-minute waiters, or what have you. If we were in bad moods, we'd hit Vichy's windows with our catapults. Couldn't tell you if all the nobles were Vichy's, to be honest. I just knew the one who drove us off the Ag plate was. Then one day, there was this injured woman lying in an alley who shouted at me in Terran, wanted me to deliver a letter for her. We guessed who she was. I delivered it and found her a place to hide. I told her of all the scummiest Victorians in this city, the number one would be that one with the tiny mustache who issued all the decrees. Bloody Originium product taxes, alcohol taxes to target Terran drunks, ordinances to round up unemployed Terrans and house them in one place. He was the one on telly delivering all of that. And then there was the army man stationed in the alleys. I couldn't do nothing but watch him beat all those people to death, and if I'd stared at him a moment more, he would have taken me away. If she and her Spectre force wanted Marks to attack, then those two had to be on the list. But I was wrong. She responded. It wasn't Dublin's aim to retaliate against Victorians and Terran instead. My brother told her which noble had the biggest house, which had the poshest dinner parties, which had a treasure hoard enough to arm an army, support a plates farmer. That was even more wrong, she said. Dublin wasn't stealing from the Victorians to give to the Terrans. And she said, if all we do is kill a few people and seat ourselves in their positions, it won't make things better for the Terrans. It'll just make us become them. Just like how Terrans who learned Victorian etiquette, copied Victorian accents, could pass as Victorian nobles. Then did she tell you what it was that Dublin wanted? Huh, nope. But my brother had it all figured out afterwards, so we decided to join Dublin and went following them on the info they left behind. We left a nomadic city, heading for a settlement close by. It was along the way there I suddenly remembered how Dublin disposed of their eyewitnesses. I was scared for my life, so scared I felt I had to run. It's not as if I hate every last Victorian, you know, and if I don't hate them, I'm not prepared to make them bleed. But there's no alternative to it. I don't like saying this, but Dublin is an army, and one thing armies face is war. I know, of course I know. Rationally, I know they're in the right. What's wrong is I can't do it. How come I can't do what my brother could? How could he be so sure why I had to run? How could he put up with dying and burning after death, while I can't even stand seeing him turn out this way? How can she stand up from the ashes while I can only shrink into her shadow and weep? Loshini, what is it you want? I wrote for you what my life knew in terms of love and dreaming too, but in your burning ecstasy there is no place to hold them. What? You're not reciting poetry, are you? Are you serious? At me? Are you trying to show off your upbringing? Sorry, I don't know what I should say. There's so much I could say to encourage others or comfort others, but none of it is mine. You can stop reading. Someone buries her face in her hands. Her grief, like the Dublin soldiers who no longer speak, is shrouded in a deep green silhouette. I dreamt, they murder. Years and years ago, we were working in a Victorian's manor. One day, my brother got me to drop everything I was doing and slip out with him for fun. We walked for ages until we reached the edge of the AG plate, and we looked out down into the wilderness below. We couldn't see where the soil ended. It was all bursting full of wildflowers. My brother said that that's Terra. He said so much daft, arrogant shit, he sang into the wind at the top of his voice. He said there was so much we wanted to say but couldn't because the Victorians robbed us of our language. The only thing we could do was hide our love and sorrow away in our time-old folk songs. And he said we'd done something incredible today. We didn't work for the Victorians today, so we'd rebelled against them. So I must have been absolutely full of it back then, full on dreaming of becoming like a hero in the legends. Ha! Same here. They're very pretty, the flames you've left him. They're just like the flowers we saw that day. But these flames aren't true flowers, they're just... From the moment we're born to the moment we die, it all runs past in the blink of an eye. You aren't even able to hold them. That's fine, I don't care. I knew for the longest time he'd die. Even I was prepared to die when we went to looking for Dublin. I don't care. I never trusted he'd died like he bragged, like we dreamed of the hero's death. But at least, Reed, I want to hear the truth, your truth. Was the future Dublin promise, the thing he was chasing even once he died, was it made up? Yes, it was. In the dark of the night, a flame ignites at the tip of a spear. Cast in the firelight, Reed sees, tears finally flowing down her face. Tutorial 2. The flames of war spread towards everyone who lives in these lands. We must be ready. I see fire. What the hell? The spread. What the? Reed beds can be set on fire under some circumstances. Burning. Wait. God, I hate that. Sorry, I'm trying to deal with the fire. Hang in there, Melantha. The fire is dying down. The fire is finally out. Deploy operator and burning reed beds to gradually put out the fires.
私は一歩も引きません。倒します。
Fires may spread when there is an adjacent reed bed.
動かないで。
The fire is spreading. Operators deployed in reed beds can put out the fire and prevent it from spreading. Let me demonstrate.
絶対許しません。
Focus on the enemies in front of you. Their attacks will deal extra burn damage when near a fire. It is important to put out fires quickly and prevent them from spreading. I'm counting on you.
喧嘩しないでよ。私が痛みを消し去ります。私は一歩も引きません。 倒します。動かないで。ジェンスは怒ってる。
Well, that explains why we have somewhat of a similar concept with the camouflage. Things are gonna be set on fire. FC5. What do we got? Sugar packs. Okay. Reed, how's it going over there? Yes, no problem. Dude, I love this song. It's so good. Alright, that's the last tent we've got to put up. Wow, you two are a powerful pair. Right, you were taking off, weren't you? Aye, Chen Chen and I are investigating those specters that were under Art's control. We've still got other assignments once everything's done here. This is the edge of County Trent. No barracks will be coming looking for trouble no more. If only we'd been better at maintaining order, wouldn't have had all this commotion and unjust treatment. Huh? What are you on about? If it weren't for all of you, there's no chance we would have made it this far. If this were my own home, I'd be treating all of you to a nip of elderflower liquor tonight. I'd even be giving the stuff away. But most of the supplies we have on land come from that Rhode Island you lot are from. Haha. If we write to Rhode Islands, will you get the message? We'll be letting you know once we're settled somewhere. If you're ever back in the area, drop by and say hi. Maybe. Once Victoria's war comes to an end, plus there's someone Chen Chen should be meeting. What about you, Reed? Where are you going next? I think I'll make sure everyone is settled down before I take care of my own business. Even though they are away from the Skathana fields, their crimes in the hand of the Lights Out Bell. The Terrans still lived in muddied lands, trapped where they stand. I think I need to help them come up with the ideas. I can speak both Terran and Victorian. If we enter the cities later on, we'll run into people of all kinds and I can help negotiate. At least, I could do it more easily than others. Oh, right. When you went looking for the Rhode Island safe house today, did you get followed by anyone? I don't think so. It's okay, thank you for reminding me. If those soldiers are here for me, I won't be afraid. And also, thank you for your kindness. Say, will you send me a tent when the time comes? The factories in the cities that make that canvas. They don't leak water even when they get rained on for half a month. Just perfect for me to retrofit my trolley with. She's a fair, kind-hearted one, and I'm sure you'll be fair when it comes to naming the price. I think you two'd have no trouble reaching a deal. Haha, I'm joking. Where would I find the money for something this nice? Who would have thought, though? We were just trying to figure out how to survive a couple days ago, but now we get to sleep in these sturdy old factory-made tents. We can even light fires at night. Aye, they're a capable bunch, and they know Aripathy well. Incoherently rhythmic whistles. Oh, mist that shroud the valley. Hide her figure weighing far. It's a beautiful song, that. Out of all the people who fancied me, you might be the only one who still remembers me. Don't be saying that now. I'm certain everyone remembers. This Aripathy's not your fault. That lad, Selman's brother, he's gone. That whole Dublin squad we helped out, they might just be gone too. We did all that for nothing. At least you're still alive. You went missing for so long, but you're still alive. I saw reading handing you some medicine. Is erypathy really curable then? No, they said there's no cure for it. But please, don't be blaming those Dublin soldiers. I hid them in the factory's lorries, and raw originium ore shards got on their wounds. This isn't their fault. I'm not blaming, I'm just feeling awful. The rest of you had faith in Dublin, but I didn't have what it takes. Dublin's more impressive than any of us. They've got weapons too. But we all saw what happened to that squad in the end. Dublin treats us well and let our Terran voices be heard. But after that, it beats me. All I remember is the blood I saw on the lorries that day. Even now, Selman still wants to find Dublin to fight the Victorians, and I can't pull her out of it. Really? No sauce on this? That's weird. Lunchtime, be back soon. I don't think it's bad that Selman wants to do this. A calling like hers got much to accomplish for other Tyrans. Do you remember, not long after I got infected myself, the entire infected district was chased out of town. It was the stronger of us. After that, they took everything they could lay their hands on from the rest of us exiles. Left behind only frail pensioners and children and the ones like me ailing badly from the sickness. You should have told us sooner rather than keep it all to yourself. At the very least, it would have spared you some pain. To tell the truth, I can hardly remember any of it. I can't remember why no one fought back, why no one tried to protect one another. I always used to think that was just how life was. It doesn't matter what's in your hands when you're starving. You close your eyes and tuck in. Lisa died at the bottom of the mine. So did Clodagh. Has your family never complained about working the mines? I couldn't say really. Maybe it's how hard it is to blame someone for it, but at very least I did feel right terrible when my sisters died. I wanted to find someone to talk to about it, but it was dark and suffocating at the bottom of those mines, and no one had the time to listen. I got to peddle my wares around, and it turned out everyone had their own troubles already. No one had an ear to lend to me. But hey, not too late to talk now. Right you are, it's not too late now. The wood we've gathered should be enough to last us through the night. Let's go then. Won't be so easy for you to tell the way once the sun comes down. Hey, the pot's bubbling. Can I have a bite now? Settle down there, you cottonhead. Did you not ever cook supper back home? Wait inside the tent. Once the meat's done, and give me a hand bringing it over. She seems to be in a better mood. Yes, but I'm sure she's still grieving. It's a good thing you killed her heart for Dublin, at the very least. You knew? And I imagine with you here, they won't stray onto the wrong path. Though it'll be hard for you to keep walking with them, Draco. I'm not wrong when it comes to these things. Jen has seen it all before. Don't be daft, Virgil. You played King Jael's warrior in last year's play. 3 times you fell with mortal wounds. 3 times you had to clamber back up. Your arms and legs were all bruised by the end. Then I'll make him invincible this year. Every time King Jael loses in battle, Gastrel dies at the bottom of the castle. Other than the costumes, we never try anything new. Hey Selman, come here, have a seat. I've been thinking you could take on the role of King Jael's left-hand man, the general, this year. Yeah, you're a bit young, but there's... Wait, what? I can't see. There's not one of us with more fire in their belly than you. What? You're only saying that because you saw the pot she's bringing over. Look, she doesn't want to. No, what are you talking about? I don't know who that is. Yeah? Don't put Don't they put on those plays every summer over by yours? We're trying to sort out who will be playing which role. Is that where someone calls herself the goddess of the river and splashes the audience at the end the whole thing? I've seen it, but I'm not interested, not unless I'm playing her. That's her mourning the dead soldiers. Her lines are harder to remember than any other role. Oh. We might not finish building the theater before the end of the summer, though. You could have until next year to prepare. Right, who knows. Looks like you still want to go after Dublin. Of course, you think I'm just gonna give up like the rest of you? I made my decision after talking to Reed that day. I still believe it. Dublin's dreams can be realized, and someone has to realize it. What is it you want to find out from me? I have nothing to ask. I've seen what you've done for myself. I trust the judgments I make seeing what I do, and I trust Rhode Island's judgment. But right now, in the eyes of most Victorians, there is only one Draco still alive. Dublin's Red Dragon, the descendant of the Terran King. More than enough to fill the dukes with their sinister ambitions and the nobles with anxiety. It must be difficult for you. Does she know my identity then? Bagpipe? She is actually very smart and attentive, but there's a great deal she doesn't like to think negatively about. Especially not friends she approves of. If we continue our journey together, that's something that both you and her will have to face eventually. Are you advising me to leave as soon as I can? What's done can't be undone. You can't run from the responsibilities you have to bear. But I think to some people, whether you're a Draco or not doesn't actually matter so much. By tender stream that brushes on and through the upland grass, we make a toast to those of us here to raise their glass. Someone singing. It's probably Fergal. Is this Terran? Yes, it sounds like it's about wine in the uplands in summer. I've never heard it before, but it's beautiful. Bid flap your wings to wake by light, we foul upon the bays. Bear off the news we gather round along with the waves. They're all so happy, I can tell. But all they have are their tents and fire. I'm sure they'll even be happier when they have their houses and farmland. Let's head inside. Chen, you're finally back. Here, look at this. Mr. Oddren can whistle with a blade of grass. My pitch can be pretty off. My dog was really good at it, though. I picked up a bit here and there from him. Oh, you don't mind if I sing along a little, do you? Go ahead, it's our drinking song. Only thing I'll take offense to is an empty bottle, haha. What's the lyrics then? Is it okay if I sing in Victorian? Let me fetch someone else, you just listen to them. Fion, you're up. Ever does this land well with tears, yet we drink only of bygone dews and flames. Reed chillin', Chen chillin', bagpipe having fun. By winding lane that blooms with rose and bellflower on the loam. You're out of tune, that's terrible. Shut up, not like you're doing any better. Sharp whistle. Ugh, I'm begging you, enough of that noise. You've got some bloody novel way of arguing. Oh wait, no throwing stones either. What if we actually got hit here? Wow, that bread smells good. You can have half. Oh, Ta, here, Chen, you have a bite. Come on, just one. Lush, isn't it? I wonder what herbs they're using. Can't tell. Yeah, you spent ages back in Yon. What, did your taste buds get more fussy or just duller a bit? What do you think? We Lungamites brew our tea in the summer with 24 kinds of medicinal herbs. Really, you're pulling my leg again, aren't you? I'm not. Are you enjoying yourself, Reed? This is how their lives could have been all along. A bit better than this too, of course. You gave them their lives back. Reed, you know Terran. No excuses from you. Sing. Eh? Sing. Fare on and long, you traveler, but to where do you now roam? The transport will leave clear tracks in the mud. Should we take a detour? No need. We'll head straight to our destination. Uh-oh. Good stuff, and you, Morin? Miss Morin, what are you doing sitting so far off? Reed's told you a million times, it's okay. She's right, come on. Wandering bard of the Glen of Kamai sing. Oh, mist that shroud the valley, hide her figure weighing far. Oh gosh, I think I once heard this beautiful singing years ago. I'm sure you have. Right you are. I remember taking my sister around. She wasn't so sick that she couldn't walk yet. We were stood on the stone bridge, listening for a good while. There must be more bridges like that, right? With just how far the Kamai flows. Bid breezes past the rugged line. Bring the civilians under control first, but don't let any of them get hurt. Our target possesses excellent military accomplishments. Avoid direct confrontation to all possible extents. Pick me a flower for her. Summon, look, how's this for defensive posture? Learned it from you, so? You'll be chasing foul beasts from now on. What'd you learn that for? Till summer dries our laughs. Do not talk to any of them, not even a single word. Leave the rest to me. Bare bottles chill the bones with hurt. Don't forget, we need to be out here before daybreak. We make a toast to those of us not here to raise their glass. Crossbows at the ready. Prepare smoke grenades. The tears we cup to drink are all the same and one my last. I'm hopping out for some fresh air. Uh-oh. Missed at this hour. You. What? When did you... Good evening, sir. Hymn of blessing. Dun dun dun. Wait, so I'm guessing there's probably fire starters. Killed him fast then, I guess. Yeah, there's actually been a pretty low enemy count, which is kind of weird. Chen's on fire! Wait, there isn't a read up top, is there? I mean, technically it should count? I'm not too sure. Ah! That fire. No, Rod, they're over here too. Bloody hell, they've got this whole open part surrounded, don't they? Freeze. Okay, I will. A bit too close with your saber there. You won't slip or anything, right? Reed, help us. What do we do? Against this many, it'll be hard to force our way out. Ugh. Did they just break my cudgel in half? They're acting very confident. They don't want to seize us violently. They just want to quell the resistance we put up. Ugh, not half bad this slot. I don't get it. How they follow us out to here? Where'd they come from? Wait, that one. I've seen him before. A couple of days ago when we ran into the Spectre Force. Which means you lot aren't County Trent. These refugees are outside your jurisdiction. You've got no authority to arrest them. We'll have to take our gloves here if you're not going to follow the rules. The rules? That goes for you too. I see your pile driver sphere missing its shells. You shouldn't be in a mile of the battlefield, soldier. It's not like this was meant to be a battlefield, was it? They've not even put the campfire out. Watch out! A black dagger slides forward without a sound. Its tip reflects not even the slightest bit of light, instead drawing a path of smoke. The dagger points intimidatingly at Bagpipe's throat, though its bearer gives it no glance. His eyes have been focused squarely on Reed. We can tell clearly from his sharp glare that he and the army are out for her here. Isn't your pike meant to be burning with flames? I suggest you drop the feudal resistance. Make the smart choice, lay your weapons down, and hear me out. I have nothing against the Terrans, let alone any plans to retaliate against civilians. And as for steering the masses clear of ruin, you and I should be united on that front. Here's the official paperwork. What? A city council writ of investigation? The former Victorian soldier sets her weapon down. Per the Council of the County of Trent's decision, I'm here to investigate an overlooked puzzling aspect of the arson cases. I have no other choice, correct? Tiffle sob. What are you doing? Quiet down. Ugh, this is terrible. Always thought I should at least get my will in order, you know, before I finally meet my maker. If you ask me, you should have written it up long ago. I did right after we first made it out, but I tore it up. I've been so happy these past 2 days. Really regret that now. Oh, shut up, Fionn. We're not done for yet. They've got us all tied up and gagged, and everything we had to fight with got taken away. What else are we gonna do other than wait to die? Sigh, interrogation, terrifying word. How many Terrans do we know made it alive out of an interrogation, and who knows what they're prying out of a woman as kind as Reed? We all know each other like family we are, but we don't know Reed from a bar of soap. Don't know where she came from, don't know what she was doing here before. What, is she an enemy to you now? No, that's not what I meant. I just... Selman, you can't just make someone not be afraid to die. We can still see the fire from here. How long has it been since we last had the light of fire on a cold, dark night? Really thought I'd manage to escape, I did? You even came about borrowing some stuff to rustle up some money. Didn't I say I'd make you some smoked fowl to sell? Enough, we need to think of something, figure this situation out. What? Figure this out? And what good is it going to do us? I'm fed up of this, that's all. I hate listening to how much you just sigh. Squatting about in the Terran quarter, passing by village, threshing floors, it's just sighs everywhere, I'm sick of it. Enough, save it, don't ask me how. You've always managed to find a way out. I'll draw the attention of those guards. Whatever you're going to do, figure it out yourself. Wait, so where's Chen? You can ease yourself a little, Reed. We're just having an ordinary chat. We have a warm fire and we can hear the fowls chirp in the night. Surely you'd agree this is a much more comfortable environment for conversation than a full-fledged interrogation room would be. No comment? That's your choice. I won't give you trouble for it. Perhaps the nearby barracks disrespect has given you cause for alarm. Allow me to apologize in their stead. Are you here to investigate Dublin? None of the people here have anything to do with them. You needn't explain. As you'd expect, I already have a good grasp of the situation. A singular attack has indeed spurred a minor region's barracks to take undue action against approximately a dozen Terrans, going so far as to accuse them of being part of Dublin insurrectionist forces. But in the company of all else contained in this very, very heavy dossier, their mistakes aren't worthy of mention. Of course, your situation is a little different compared to anyone else's, but I believe I can do something to help you break free of these troubles. After all, no stretch of your escape can have been easy. If it wasn't for such harsh decrees, they would have never have needed to run. No, please. This is a chat between the two of us, and I'm hoping you'll tell me about yourself. About the escape you began long prior to this one. I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm asking you about your past identity. There are no records of any kind on you. No medical records, no nomadic city immigration records, no tax records, nothing. We Terrans are driven out wherever we go. It's not strange that you don't see me in Victoria's records. Then what about the unrest in County Hillock last autumn? Were you there? And what about the County Peninsula attack last May? I'm asking you and you alone. Madam, if one does not tell anyone their birth name, where they are from, or who they are, wouldn't you say they're just like a shadow? Chen, I reckon you've already figured out who these men are. Yeah. The ones that just fought us are no normal soldiers. Interrogating on the spot is very unique for procedure too. Plus their leader knows quite a lot. That's why he's so courteous toward us, and me in particular. Right, I was just thinking, they're just letting us stand here and wait, and only keeping a couple men on watch. But the Terrans all have to have their hands bound. It's not fair. Still, how do you figure out who you are? I didn't expect the intelligence service to work this case. The intelligence service? Why would they be looking for Reed? Her background must be an unusual one, and that's why she insisted on acting alone. She didn't want to drag anyone into the mess. Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. Are they actually going to talk, you know? To a Terran, they won't rough her up or threaten her into saying something against her will, right? Keep your voice down. I remember what you wrote in your report on County Hillock, right? He's got his writ from city councils. He says he'll keep the peace and he has nothing against Terrans, but no, I should trust more. He's still an arm of city council. He's not here to mess things up. Most people can't withstand the pressure of interrogations, though. You remember how we did things back in school when we partnered up? Oh, your hand signal, I do. I remember. That's the ones we communicated with the time we snatched those hazardous originium products. Good thing you remember. It doesn't matter what Reed's background is. If she ends up as someone's pawn, that's going to send ripples through the status quo. Yeah, and it'll be a nightmare on her as well. I mean, she's always seemed like she's been trying to shake herself of something. I hear you loud and clear, Chen Chen. We'll bring her back to Rhode Island. Dearie me, what pristinely clear tracks. It seems your opponent has extended you an invitation again. Oh please, less ridicule. And unfortunately, I'm afraid invitation is an overstatement this time. He doesn't even so much as care about what his dance his guest intends on. We're making our positions plenty clear just by showing our faces. Dublin will rescue poor Loshini, expose her identity, and in the end testify as to where I really stand. And he knows. I have to wade in, so the other Draco of Terra doesn't land in his Duke's hands, and lessen the leader's influence as his Draco herself. No matter, I shall wipe his ambitions clean. The foul beasts have stopped calling. Do you understand what that means? That's fine. Why don't we start with accounts of your recent incidents? You haven't caused serious injury to anyone. Even the arson at the barracks resulted in no deaths nor casualties, with only some supplies lost to fire. Most Terrans were driven by their hatred of the Victorians to commit graver crimes. Your methods, in contrast, have been very mild. Some witnesses even attest how you tried to fend off the Dublin soldiers. Do you admit to all of this? I can only admit I by no means wish to harm others. Good, I can believe that. You have a fair conscience in you. Now, if we can turn our attention to the quietened Falbies? It seems your Dublin friends are here to save you. No, I can't go back. Go back? Oh, you mean back to your life as a shadow? Back to the kind of life surrounded by smoldering corpses where the ashes of the dead coat the city streets? To someone blessed with a conscience, it must be a very painful life. But it so happens you have a chance right now. You can make your own decision. Accept our protection. Your past crimes will be looked into no further. I will never. She must run. Run from the watchful eyes of all. But how far must she go before she's finally run away? Now. Sorry, but you'll want to try on my fort cracker for size again. Brandishing her pile driver spear, Bagpipes gazes away from the tent. Behind her stands Chen, and Chen's eyes, however, widen for an instant. With not a sound, the tent over the interrogation turns to ashes. A beam of flame bolts through the dark night, to then immediately vanish without a trace.
我还是能帮上一点忙的吧。
Where can you go to escape from fate? Ooh, clusters. I like that. Burning fires already? Okay. I'm ready. I've definitely shifted from freaking using range units to ground ones, so I think it should be fine. Wait, deals additional burn damage and takes less damage while near burning reeds. When defeated, turn into embers of avarice and respawns. Okay.
先解决这一路。命令の信号を実現させた者が国葬 M のに君は気づいていない。生命を救済しうるは慈しみ。有什么问题需要解决？明白，阿登。骚扰最近的敌人。地形数据采集完毕。明白，小梦。我路诱敌。意志を言語にするは規律。本気で行くよ。我将禁止障碍。行动越快。不，我不会让你们走偏。信号を実現させた者が国葬 M のに君は気づいていない。走。明白，出车。雷
我已准备完毕。
我会加油的。沙子会重塑大地。
明白，小梦，左路右敌，龙源传说，不胜负，行动越快，痛苦越少。
Wait, what? What?
我不会让你们走近。
I can't freaking see!
ドクター、今回は私
All
が
these
ここを守る。
reads!
早くみんなを連れて逃げて。
Someone literally just fucking walked in there? Like, what?
加油加油，我能行的。みんな、助けに来たよ。就是你们迷路了吗？
一歩も引かない。進め。準備完了。子供たちの悲鳴が聞こえる。
先解决这一步，我在你旁边。骚扰最近的敌人。
思考を明晰にするは戦術。需要我为你启动陷阱吗？
生命を救済しうるは慈しみ。
明白，出车，雷送到草丛里去。
わあ、本気で行くよ。沙子会重塑大地。是帮助大家的时候了。
地が崩れていくのを感じる。生命を救済しうるは慈しみ。
千，我在你旁边。断头，开动。
待机中，在这里倒下的话，就不会受到更多伤害。
Actually, technically, doesn't a mind count? Actually, no, I probably shouldn't do that.
我真的过来。
手执微光，便是为了扫尽世界。
いつでも行ける。自分の
任何微小的震动。みんな、こっち来て。
子供たちの悲鳴が聞こえる。
这把审判锤分量很重。出车，雷送到草丛里去。这里什么都没有发生。
任何微小的震动都可能改变结果。
行动越快，痛苦越少。
りんごちゃん、今日もよろしくね。
明白，断头，开动。
運動を実現させた者が北総 M の。君は気づいていない。
让我在这场战斗中学习您的指挥方式吧，博士。
在这里倒下的话，就不
你想打倒我？凭什么？
我在你旁边，别出声。
すぐに片付ける。
你过来。
命令の運動を実現させた者が北総 M の。君は気づいていない。
進め。意志を堅固にするは規律。
私の声に応える。
我将尽除障碍。
只等您一声令下。
任何微小的震动都可能改变结果。
意志を堅固にするは規律。待機中。
有什么问题需要解决？
任何微小的震动都可能改变结果。
命令も信号を実現させた者が北総 M ので、君は気づいていない。
That was actually quite the annoying stage. I know what you're thinking, but none of your cater walling will distract us. Really, sounds to me they're putting up a fight over their end. Sure, you shouldn't give them a hand. Quiet. Huh, you've got some balls to be giving me lip, Vicky. Quiet or I'll split your skull open. You Victorians, what gives you the right? Don't oversell yourself, Taryn. I've no prejudice or hate against your lot. At most, I think you're just sad. You're a political force to be used, a piece on the Duke's board. We've been as friendly as we can be to you, since that's just common courtesy, but you should know a band of refugees dying here won't be any skin off our backs. Have we got orders? If they want backup, we'll do as the captain told us and deal with the ones here first. Target fleeing inbound towards Team 1. Team 1 and 2 continue the pursuit. All other units retreat. Give them the opportunity to regroup. We'll take them in all at once. Reed, how'd you shake that investigator? Chenshin and I were just gonna rescue you. Hey, come on. Terror to Reed, let's go. There's fear this way. Let's take this chance and break through. Where are the others? Are they still by the forest? I think so. We'll find a way out first, then we can save them. Crossbowmen, you thought you could waltz on out of here? These crossbowmen didn't attack before. Some of them are lying in ambush. There's no telling how many of them we're dealing with. They must really think highly of us to greet us with so many elite troops. It doesn't matter how many of them we're dealing with. We've no choice but to fight past them one by one. No, wait, Bagpipe. We aren't the only ones they're targeting. Ugh, you're right. They're reorganizing their forces. In which case, they're very quick at it. They must have planned this in advance. The opening they're giving us may well be intentional. Would anyone more really come out to these barrens, though? Hostile sighted. Prepare grenades. Alert the decoy team. The squadron emerges from the dark like the ghost that appeared on the County Hillock streets. Bagpipe's grip tightens on her fort cracker. Dublin. We've confirmed the enemy commander's identity. It's exactly who you said it would be. The Red Steel Guard captain. He came to rescue the Draco as a Dublin member. Just as I thought. This might turn into an open confrontation between two dukes. The Iron Duke is seeking to turn County Trent into a battlefield. They won't act too rashly just yet. Let's keep waiting for the most opportune moment. Target sighted. Prioritize capturing her. Ugh, out of the way. Your weapon, you're a Victorian soldier. She's got a Victorian soldier by her side. Huh? Is that so strange? There's Victorian soldiers everywhere here. Split the three of them apart. Don't waste on anyone who isn't the target. We've secured the target. Team 3, evacuate with the target. Target, you mean Reed? Ugh. Long time no see, Loshini. Say, we're old friends, aren't we? Don't be too nervous now, and no getting worked up either. Such a touching reunion. I can't imagine you'd approve of greeting your old friend with violence, It really is such a shame, you know. You were always open to leave. In fact, the leaders acquiesced to your little runaway act. Are you taking me back? But I can't go back. There's no place for me there anymore. No, there never was any place for me. No, I understand. Not fond of your status as a shadow. Untrusting of the men recruited by your own lies. But where else could you go if not Dublin? Where would you make your home as a Draco? Loshini, oh poor Loshini. To tell the truth, I have some genuine sympathy for you. You see, you only ever spare a few more words for me when it comes to all that fictional poetry, all that made-up flowery language. It makes me feel like we really are old friends. If you had your own life to live, you'd be roaming the ancient moors like the bards do, or willing the day away reading cozied up in a nice little hut, making a living for yourself by writing copies. Wonderful, wonderful dreams, I can say that. So living aboard the ship must have been oh so satisfying for you. Why didn't you keep laying low, I wonder? The leader knows, doesn't she? In County Hillock, so many innocent civilians killed in the scheming and the plotting. She knew for the longest time, didn't she? Well, you know her best. Why double check with me? If they hadn't perished in the County Hillock melee, the leader would have done it herself. Truly a series of shames. If the electrocutionist and his merry men went about County Hillock, following their orders instead of getting up to their little tricks, they could have lived out a few more days by the leader's side. If Mandragora had done what she was told in Londinium and brought the spy back, she wouldn't have needed to die that horrible death down in the sewers. And if you just kept on hiding out of Fate's way, I wouldn't be so inclined to fetch you back for Dublin either. I have to run. But where will I go? You should feel lucky, honestly, that I found you first. I'm sparing you the time you need. If it was the Brigadier who came across you, he would have murdered you the moment you hesitated. No, they want me no more than a shadow. I won't live a life like that again. Taking a spear to the ashes has to be much easier than tearing clean through bodies of flesh and blood. Alright, this will keep you lot lying down. Reed, how are you? Don't look. Every time she casts her arts, Reed closes her eyes, but not Bagpipe. Bagpipe sees the flame light atop the apex of her spear. Right, didn't she meet her in County Hillock? She was the Dublin caster stood under the statue in the square, staring coldly out at the burning streets at the deaths of countless people. She trusts outcasts in Rhode Island, and it makes her not want to believe her own impression, her sole single glance. You're at Bagpipe. How's it going over there? Can you lure Dublin side and the intelligence service muscle together? Eh? Aye, I'm on it. Ugh, you're not laying hands on Reed. Out of the way. In the brief breath she catches between stance and attack, she reflexively looks behind herself again. A mist sweeps across her view, crossing between her and Reed. All units use the fog as cover. Penetrate the battlefield. Originium Arts, stay alert, gather up, reconfirm your positions. The Brigadier, you're here. Yes, you have command now. Ah, yes. Brigadier! Ah! She has to run. The fog is giving her a chance. She knows the strategy of turning a battle into an uncontrolled brawl well. All she has to do is take her spear up and spur on the flames. But what comes after? She is Dublin's leader. She stands for Dublin's flames. She sets light to the land and swaths. She took lives upon lives. She made illusory promises all in her own voice. She proclaimed time and again she would bring about a new age, one belonging to the Terrans. Team 1 attack straight away. Do not be concerned about hurting the target. Dracos have excellent physical resilience. A few wounds won't kill her. She is a Draco. Her parents died on the snowiest of festival nights for this bloodline. She and her sister traveled to one city after another, living the childhoods that ambitious politicians who aimed to restore the monarchy had in mind for them. She was born with her flames. Even now her veins and organs can feel that scorching pain. Where must she run to escape from that fate? Once she woke up on a sickbed aboard Rhode Island. There she laid on the bed and read. In the books were descriptions of Victoria's exquisite peace, of Terra's gentle melodious madrigals. Madrigals? But past her window, there outside, her injured allies would walk. Even when she shuts her eyes, she can see the city in ruins. She was saved, but so many others died there. Do it. Captain's given the order. Take care of them first, then we'll deal with Dublin's lot. Don't worry, Terran. The blade works fast. Whew, that was close. Ha, Fion, I knew it. Where'd you come from? Ugh! Help me, help! Up, all of you can stand, get up. They haven't bound more than our hands. We've got the numbers. There's just 3 of them and 1 more who's hurt. We can take them. Right, let's do it. We ran down that Visi patrol in the village the other day. We can more than run this lot down. Hey, Fion, how'd you slip free? I was squatting over there to check on Reed. Nobody saw me, so I sneaked a rock and cut through the rope. Just thinking about it scares me. What if I'd been just that little bit late back? Don't think about it then. Unbind me and we'll help the others. Hurry. I'll teach that stuck-up Vicky a lesson. We're sad. We're just being used. My arse. I just know there's nothing more real than the scars on my body, all the blood and tears I've shed. What gives you any right in hell to take the piss out of us? Captain, there's an uproar with the hostages. Ugh. Did I take him out? Sorry, I can't see very well. Pretty strong there you are. Anyone else still tied up? I'll nab the Vicky's knife and cut you free. Quick, he just sent word out. Fergal, keep an ear out. See if there's any soldiers coming from that side. Fion, get here and help up anyone who's hurt. Move. Anyone who's got the legs, get going. The refugee Terrans stumble frantically, running ever deeper into the woods. They fled their homeland, those marshy soils, yet none are truly sure how fast they must run to leave the flames of war and death behind them. If they can just escape this dark night, will that mean they can rebuild their homeland free and peaceful? Oi, Fion, you know how to write. When we get out, write me a letter to send back home. Need to let them know I'm still alive. Right, I hear you. I'll do you some elderflower liquor, true to my word. Get me a good set of all the blue ring stuff from the market. Right, noted, noted. Don't even need my account book. And then all at once they elect to stop in their tracks. Someone lightly begins to whistle. The Terrans have many things they cannot put into words. When they cannot find the words to express themselves, they simply sing. They sing of glasses empty of alcohol and loved ones who aren't there. Selman. I know. I saw them fighting. Dubla's in it too. They're all looking to capture Reed. Bagpipe and Chen are helping her, but it's just the three of them. Will they be fine? I can smell smoke. There must still be firewood burning that way. It's so thick. We might just be able to sneak ourselves inside. Say, Selman. Let's go. Grab the Vicky's sabers and stuff. See any weapons on the way? We take them. Where must we go to escape from the Terran's fate? Oh, yeah, let's go, boys. We just took out those guards. Nothing to be afraid of. We're not fighting a war. We don't need to do them all in. We just need to rescue Reed and we're good. Morin, can you see? If the fire's not bright enough, take my hand and I'll guide you. The smoke thickens, the waves of heat inch closer. The woods are burning, life is fading away. Never has a soul called their names. Never has a soul asked them their ideals. Asked if the run they make is counter to the life they dream of living. They bound ahead for the Firelight, the one and only. Reed, are they calling to me? Well, I hope my auto for that is good. Gonna be freaking sad. Escape from the Dark Knight. Wait, I need to see the medals actually. Obtain operator puzzle. Do all that. Far stage, yeah. Clear FC6 with a 3-star rating without any ignited raids, yeah, that's fine. Clear FC8 with a 3-star rating with operators deployed in Mire no more than 3 times. Okay. Complete all content and search and warrant. 24? Wait, there must be something else? Wait, is there something else? This one? Oh yeah, okay, so it's just the missions. Okay, never mind. That's fine, that's fine. I was like, oh god, is there like 12 stages or something with whatever? Ashes of Memory on challenge mode. 8 stages, FC7, yep. With at least 3 unignited. I mean, okay, that's fine. The sparks leave no trace on the cold steel. I might have to drop Black Knight. No, I think I can still roll with this. Young Bard, I cannot give you an answer. Let those who come after give it. Now, as it just so happens, I have one more matter of vital importance to relay to you all tonight. I'm afraid this will be the Clan of Terran's final gathering. Well now, what are you saying, your lordship? Hasn't our cause only just begun? Fret not, it is true that the cause of we Terrans to seek who we are is fresh and anew, but will cease to exist as merely the humble little gathering that I lead as an individual. Isn't that right, my dear loyal servant? Cough, cough, cough. My apologies, I'm but a servant. I didn't presume to understand. It's snowing heavily outside. Your body is frail. I can ready the car for you at any moment. No need.
Mr. Williams, would you share a walk with me on this snow-filled day? It would be my honor. The inn I'm staying in had no firewood to begin with. There isn't much left for the snow to hinder. Really? I see. Yes, I never did prevent City Council from imposing winter taxes on the Terran districts. Everyone deserves at least a warm fire on a chilly day like this. Come, maybe we can chat some more about your creations, the stories you collected in these villages, and what Terra should have been. May death connect us with all legends. Quiet, did you hear those footsteps? They sound heavy. They'll be pretty tough for soldiers. Move, move, move this way. We'll hide in the other direction. The campfire's still burning. I can take a piece of timber as a torch. Alright, I'll go with you to fetch in a moment. Hey Reed, you hear me? Reed, there's no response. Quick, hide over there. We'll split into two groups in a minute, then look for her. And even if we can't find her, we need to find Bagpipe and Chen. Tuh. You dare interfere with a military operation. Something wrong. If I can't shake you, I'll fight you. Not like I haven't scrapped with you Victorian soldiers before. Reed. Cry after cry cuts through the smoke and mist. Reed knows the way she should go. They shouldn't be dragged into this conflict. I have to help them. Ugh! Unfortunate, a few inches shy. He tried to kill her? I recall having reported to the leader about this, but not anyone else. You can't possibly be so naive as to think you're the only one in Dublin to form your own intelligence network. If you're to bring that puppet back, I'm afraid there is no course of action more suitable at present than mobilizing my squadron. My, how grateful I am. Then, are you seeking to supervise my work, or is it more that you'd like to eliminate her yourself? Should she refuse her identity as a shadow, my blade will be faster than your arts. I've seen how diverse viewpoints can be in this masterless Victoria. There is no need for Dublin to continue staging such a charade. If you come to kill me, does that mean Dublin is prepared? You are the only uncertainty left. I thought that as a puppet you would at least learn how to think, at least pretend. I thought you'd have the capacity to set your sights farther. It is disappointing, however, to see your foolish kindness. If you had followed the Spectre Force's code of operation from the start and eliminated all witnesses, things would not have taken one wrong turn after another. The situation we find ourselves in now would have never developed. A second wound. Far from enough to stop a Draco in her tracks, but I'm sure you know that even though no other Dublin militant is bound your way, this remains a one-sided battle. I cannot see what right you have to instigate this petty coup d'etat against the leader. This dude's trying to kill Reed! What the fuck? Hey, hello. The Terran civilians are down this direction. If Bagpipe and Reed hear the shouts, they'll definitely break through this way too. Hang in there, I'm coming. Chen, thank God someone finally responded. That was fast. Where did that come from? Chen Huiche, Superintendent Chen. Chen thrusts in the direction of the voice, only to find her blade hitting nothing but thick fog. She feels a chill. Have you ever considered the troubles you could bring Wei Yanwu by attacking the Victorian army here? I'm doing this because I want to. What does this have to do with him? I'm simply rescuing the innocents who were dragged into this conflict. If you're going to criticize my actions from a diplomatic angle, I suggest you reflect on your own first. You may be attempting to gloss over how complicated these events truly are. That said, I still have a question for you. Take your time to answer, though. Why did you come to Victoria? Or perhaps I should ask, who did you come to Victoria for? My upbringing, my family, and my personal grudges have nothing to do with the conflict unfolding before us right now. At this moment, no matter what you suspect, I will only answer with the blade I hold in my hand. Now, back off. Found you, Mr. Fisher. You don't seem to have come for peace talks. Dublin's forces are right before us. I'm sure you know who the enemy is here. Sorry, but my mission is to rescue everyone. You had your forces planted in advance and you've got arts protection. There's no breaking through this for us if we don't get rid of the mist. You try to stop me then. Neutralize her, don't waste any time. Understood. If only I had some ammo on me. Gonna be right pain dealing with multiple at once. 2nd Tempest Platoon member Fiona Young, codename... Her name's Fiona? Fiona Young, codename Bagpipe. I've read every single report you submitted on the County Hillock incident. You have my utmost respect for your actions. If at all possible, we should be joining forces, not pointing our weapons at one another. And considering you're still investigating the truth behind the County Hillock incident, we can follow standard procedure and interrogate any and all Dublin personnel we capture here and give you any information you want. I'll pass. I'm bad at telling if someone's lying or not, and I'm not the best at interrogation either. As a show of sincerity, I can give you a single piece of information right now, the Red Steel Guard. You know who they are, don't you? Now, take notice of the combat style of the Dublin forces here tonight. Oh, I think visibility improved a bit just now. I reckon keeping an Originium arse like this got to take a toll, right? Not such a toll that it would affect my plan. And I won't allow anyone to get in its way either, of course. You could say that this war belongs to we, the intelligence workers. There won't be a single misstep from me. I strive to ensure true war does not break out and millions continue to live in peace. No, see, sure, missions end good or bad, but right or wrong, that's hard to judge. A rock? Oh, Mr. Fion, why'd you come all the way out here on your lonesome? It's dangerous. I don't know, I got lost in the mist, haha. Look, I'm not joking, I mean dangerous. Hurry up and leave. I know, but I have to help. Some of them are even in greater danger. It's fine. I can handle myself. You really don't need to worry about me. I can knock out a man at a time. Knock out a man at a time with this hoe here. No, I don't know how that's worded, but okay, you lot. You're armed with nothing but scavenger pickings, broken swords, and dulled sabers. Who are you to stand in our way? Ha! You're out to capture our leader. Who are you to say what we can and can't do? Leaders, so you really are. Working together? That's right. Why else would we come here to rescue her? She can fight and she can guide the way when we leg it. We need her. Trying a rear ambush. Nice one, Morin. No luck. I can't pierce the armor with this duff knife. Hey, don't use your torch. Your timber's not even oiled. It'll go out easy. Ugh, bloody hell. All she catches sight is of the soldier's burned arm. He swings his military saber, his face a mix of agony and anger. The saber swipes past her hand, cleaving the torch into two. The lit end falls into the mud and goes out softly in a puff of smoke. Okay, not bad. Now he's gonna have to trouble with his blade. Here, I'll hold on to you. Whew, hey, how much longer can you hold that, you think? Don't push yourself. Don't make me laugh, so you can resist a little. What else? Selman, leave me be. I hear a few more coming this way. You hear that too, don't you? I do. Dublin! Oh, they even have it written on their thing. Terrans? Us? That's right. But I took these rags from someone dead. I'm not with your group. Best leave, Terrans. Go somewhere safe. I never said I wanted to make an enemy of her. I want to correct the mistakes she's made, nothing more. You seek moralistic perfection in the face of war. Then be the coward and hypocrite you are. Find yourself coerced again like in Hillock, betrayed again like in Peninsula. The blade tears the night wind asunder. The sharp clang of metal and the interrogation of the officer lunge as one as a reed. But she doesn't listen. She can hear wails far sharper in the winds. She knows there are defenseless Terrans shedding blood in this conflict, falling right this moment. She could call out the names of each and every one of those wailing. It was but a few hours ago when she'd heard their voices sing the folk song of home. She simply cannot hear these cries. Have you ever asked yourself who the Terrans you're saving are? Ooh, is she mad? Is she on fire? Fire? You guys, watch out for Reed's Originium arts. She's very powerful right now, but these flames don't seem like her own. Draco's flames are beautiful, wouldn't you agree? They do not exceed what I anticipated, Harmony. Still, we do have a poor soul right here stupefied by the show. It's too bad, really. You don't know me yet, just like you never got to properly know your friend next to you there. The thanks are due, I will say, for you putting up such a diligent fight against this Victorian squad. His arts are dilute enough not to impact our giving chase now. It's like County Hillock again. The more valiant you are, the sorrier I feel for you. The battle here is over, so you're free to go now. Dublin won't lay a finger on you. They could even escort you if you'd like. I'll pass. What's she saying? Bagpipe, do you know her? Are we fighting her or not? No, let's go. We need to fetch Reed. You're very kind to her. Of course, I would have silenced her if it wasn't for the Terran next to her. Still, if she can make our Draco realize she has nowhere to belong but Dublin, then that's all the better. Your forces seem to have assembled towards my end now. Indeed, the poor child's fleeing northwest under our pursuit. Much further, and she'll be in the heart of Duke Wellington's domain. Once she's there, everything she does will be under Dublin's thumb. So the priority right now is, shall we say, dealing with everyone who knows too much. In the unlikely event you live to send intel back, it won't be much more than what your death would have told them. Itself would have told them. Selman, slow down. I'm having trouble keeping up. Where are we? Must have run about 200 meters into the wood from the camp. Huh. Gave that soldier a good drubbing. Now none of them are hounding us. Ugh, we're safe here. I'll treat my injuries first, and I'll head back and tell everyone to come this way and meet up with you. People with Fion's NAF skills shouldn't be sticking around so long on the battlefield. Ought to be fighters like me. Tuh, you're miles better at fighting than he is, too. Selman, there's a huge din behind us. What happened? All I can see is a faint glow. Huh. Rotten shame you don't get to see proper. It's the fire from Reed's arts, no doubt about it. Is it a fine sight? But well, I've known all along she was capable of that. Was night always this cold out in the wilds? Suppose you're willing to light your fire. Will that make it a little warmer, a little brighter? I don't know why you're disappointed in Dublin, or why they're disappointed in you. The Terrans want to survive, they should survive. It's the simplest logic. How can any of it be a lie? Before you leave the group, I need to talk to you about the whole going to Dublin thing. You know the way, right? Morin, we'll head forward a little more. It'll be safer that way. Don't be afraid. It's all muddy here. If those soldiers retreat, they won't be coming this way. Besides, the sun should almost be up. Their step finally slows. Morin no longer staggers trying to keep up. Selman, are we somewhere safe now? I'm not afraid of bad news. Tell me. They walk forward. Amongst the howl of the wind, distant explosions, and the cries, Morin tries her hardest to discern the sound of Selman. There should have been some forewarning in that moment. Selman should have stopped in her tracks, said something. At the very least, a scornful cackle at the fate of the Terrans. But what Morin feels is simple. A step made, and the hand in hers falls all of a sudden. And she stoops and cannot tell if what she feels is thick blood or wet mud. Oh, she's dead. RIP! No! Soul Spark.
命令に従い出撃。みんな安心して戦って。私がついてるから。ビクトリアのバグパイプ思考を明晰にするは戦術。ここに立つのは私の使命。命令を子供たちの悲鳴が聞こえる。
我去那边。明白，断头，开动。
我会加油的。思考を明晰にするは戦術。みんな、こっち来て。
我在你小帽，目不诱敌。
思考を明晰にするは戦術。意志を堅固にするは規律。
需要我为你启动陷阱吗？
命令を子供たちの悲鳴が聞こえる。意志を堅固にするは規律。
Play it like Risk 15.
不，我不会让你们走进。
I didn't even do Risk. Wait, did I even go that? Wait, for the last CC?
邪悪を壊滅しうるは勇猛さ。
沙子会重塑大地。
I honestly don't remember what I did. I mean, obviously I freaking archived it, but
有敌人吗？思考を明晰にするは戦術。
huh?
随时准备点会向你分享我听过的那些。
リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。思考を明晰にするは戦術。
这把审判锤分量很重。
想像したことある。友も故郷も
二度と戻らなくなることを。
The Brigadier.
一生嫌悪にするは規律。
随时准备，你想打倒我？什么？我路诱敌？
生命を救済しうる美しい。
我知道，快来！
行くぞ。なめるなよ。
Oh, that's fine. Placing up on swamp. I don't care about the swamp. Wait a minute, Harmony. Something is unusual about the amount of station troops ahead of the carriageway checkpoint. You notice? I had coincidentally asked them to look out on the premise of possible incidents that might damage relationships between the dukes. Hence, you're rounding them up before they left County Trent territory, so that your backup plan would be at all effective, not a surprise in whole. Subordinate of Duke Wellington, commanding officer of the Red Steel Guard, an identity that will cease to threaten you very soon, of course. That said, you understand at the very least that any further pursuit would become a tutorial dispute of Duke against Duke. Given Victoria's present situation, I can only say no one would want to see such a clash happen. My oh my, why would you never leave me any room to choose? Still, it's more than enough for me. My mission is complete as is. You own these repercussions. Your blunder caused them. You have no need to keep your bluff up so dutifully, being the exposed spy you are. Really, you know, I was hoping for my heart of hearts that we'd strive in common minds to work together someday. Harmony, you've spoken enough. Ahem. All forces pull back. This was a losing battle to begin with. We'll let them go. Ugh. I warned you, Fisher. Once your neuropathy progresses past a certain degree, the painkillers don't work anymore. You're in this state because of your own extended use of arts. I'm patently aware. Alright, I apologize if I went too far. No, I was just thinking, I didn't expect the venerable Duke of Castor would send a Trilby Asher here. I haven't even a clue at which point the Duke emissaries replaced my men. Whew, huh, did we make it out? Yeah, I don't see anyone giving chase. Let's stop here and check on everyone's injuries. Best to take care of them ASAP. We lost some of our companions. We'll wait here a moment. Some of them got lost in the smoke. Maybe they're still hiding in the woods. You told them you were headed in this direction. If they still remember, they'll come looking. We'll only be stopped for a short while here. It'll be daybreak soon. I won't delay your travels. You can all set your weapons down and rest for the moment. Bagpipe? Read. Uh-oh. Nani kore? So you were that caster in County Hillock. You were the one controlling that fire. I recognize your arts. You turned an entire street to ashes. You had outcasts sacrifice yourself for you. You're the leader of Dublin, aren't you? Everyone looks at her, awaiting a response. She's been asked this question many a time in the past. Each time she has to try so hard just to hold back the urge to shake her head. But now she remembers the feel of the hay and the taste of the evening breeze. She remembers the campfire flickering in front of the tents, how it was all its own, nothing like the fire that danced at her spear's tip. She remembers the thick smoke afar that has yet to clear, and the shouts and the cries unrelenting, almost still echoing. Here she no longer wants to shake her head. I am. In County Hillock, I hoped that through death I'd forever escape my identity. That's why I didn't hide when the Originium bombs came falling. Since being rescued by Rhode Islands, I've tried for the sake of my own fate to recover something. That's why I came on this journey, in an attempt to heal some of the scars left by the violence of Dublin. But right this moment, this is my only answer to your question. I am. The people who died because of Dublin, the Terrans. Didn't Dublin deceive them? I would have once said that their lives were no more than fuel for Dublin's fire. That for the greater good, to rebel against the injustice all Terrans face, the fire must burn hot and bright. But after Outcast saved me, and I retraced the paths I walked, I haven't been able to say that anymore. In reality, some of those deaths had to have been avoidable. I cannot say that every sacrifice was a martyr for Dublin's cause. The Terrans are all people, each of them living, each of them alive. I remember the mistakes Dublin's made, especially the ones by my own hands. I make no attempt to conceal those ugly scars. There's also the Red Steel Guard. The Dublin soldiers trying to take you away here, they're the Duke of Wellington's men. Are you just the Duke's private army? No, Dublin is manipulated by no power, nor should we be. If anything, it will be the Terrans, who want a peaceful home, a land they can walk freely, one and all. But you're terrified of Dublin. If Dublin truly is what you say, if it fights for the Terrans, then what is it you're scared of? What am I scared of? Your imagination of Dublin is all well and good, but fact is, it's filled to the brim with rioters, conspirators, people you can't hold control over. They even threw you of all people away for dead, didn't they? I won't deny that what many see in Dublin's Firelight is not a path for the Terrans with their own future. I'm sure that as the Victorians laid each brick and stone to build their homeland, they wouldn't have thought it was for Victoria as a whole either. But in the end, the Victorians have a homeland. They can build and tend their lands in peace. Yet where the Terrans want to live, they bleed rivers for it. I don't want to see anyone bleeding. Yes, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the bleeding. I'm afraid of death. That's why I always wanted to hide. Unthinking, unfeeling, just like a shadow. But does that make things good enough? But why is blood still shed where I cannot see? Reed, Bagpipe, you've been asking me time and again where I'm taking these Terrans. Let me ask you now, is Dublin's dream an unachievable one? Bagpipe rarely ever feels disappointment. It's crossed your mind how her reports will never make it to the right person and how her friends in arms died meaningless deaths in conflicts long premeditated. It's crossed her mind should she ever come across Dublin again how she dismantled their plot and protected innocent citizenry within their grasp. But now, she sees how the County Hillock incident was nothing more than two dukes testing one another, and she sees how lost and stricken the eyes of the Terrans are, there behind Reed, emerging from the flames of war. She can't for sure who it is she's disappointed. She can't say for sure who it is she's disappointed in. She doesn't know if she can still get any answers from Reed, for much the same reason she can't give Reed's question any reply. Let's go, Chen. Huh? My mission is to investigate the truth behind Dublin, and now I've heard it from Dublin's leader herself. And from what it sounds like, Operator Reed won't be coming back with us to Rhode Island for the moment. She's got her own business to take care of, and so do we. Alright. But Bagpipe, Fion, this is for you. The radio. You'll be making through the Barrens, won't you? Take this radio with you. You might catch some useful news. You don't need it anymore. Haha, the news is always the same old for the Terrans, isn't it? Bagpipe, we really are thankful to you and Chen and the old Rhode Island. Thank you for the tents and your assistance all along the way, and well, farewell. Salon Leot, Fion. The old radio buzzes in Bagpipe's hand. Unconsciously, her grip relaxes ever so slightly. Take care. Karen, Virgil, you and me, just the 8 of us left now. I suppose it's easier to run with fewer of us, haha. Please check for me, if there's any more clean gauze in the box. Okay, here. I'll remove the gauze on your wound now, this will hurt. Ugh. Hey, Fion, not so afraid of blood no more. Huh? Oh no, yeah, I've seen so much blood lately, pointless being scared anymore. Say, Reed, is Bagpipe really just going now? Aren't you two friends? Perhaps come a day we will be, but not for now. I suppose. I was just thinking, I know we were bound to go our separate ways, but you should have had a proper goodbye with them. Everyone should have a proper goodbye. Hey, it's Morin. They see Morin, eyes grasping on the faint light of daybreak, limping in their direction. Held tight in her grip is a broken sword and a blood-soaked bandana. Is that Selman's? Morin, what happened to her? Shakes head in silence. I'm sorry. I know, you can't have seen. Far away in the woods, remnant fumes from the flames of war still rise gently for the sky. All those who did not come back now lay in the woods just as Selman does, no one in time to see them in their final moments. The survivors stare in silence at the drifting smoke. They all just don't know which way to go. In the Scathana fields, in Hillock and Oak Grove. She has seen fire, grade, and profuse, be it anywhere there are those who scheme of war and disaster, vying for power and prestige. She has seen the ordinary soul struggling amidst it all, only to die without rhyme or reason. She raises her hand, and from a Draco's flame a faintest flower is born. The feel of holding a flame still makes her tremble, pains her insides to no end, but no more does she shut her eyes. For all those who pull themselves up from this land of mud, and the flower floats down and sinks into the wetlands, there to wither without a sound in the mire.
目标已压制。
Semi-synthetic solvent. Yeah, I don't really need those. From the ashes. Oh boy, just a straight up cutscene. Here we go! Harmony's status as a spy has been confirmed, but the intelligence personnel she planted have all evacuated in advance under her cover. The infected is indeed another Draco. Where she's headed is within our grasp. As soon as you give the orders, my team will continue our pursuit. On another note, pardon me for me asking, but to the one listening to this report from behind the screen, are you the head or the Duke herself? Very sharp of you. I don't remember how many years it's been since I last met a youth who could single that out. Pardon me, I'd just like to enjoy this cup of tea first. Come, take a seat. No, being infected, I'm best off standing here. When you came, did you see the little theater on the street corner? Yes, I did. It wasn't open and no suspicious persons were loitering there. That theater was built by a group of self-proclaimed Terran artists. Every night they put on plays based on Terran culture there. Do you need me to investigate them? No, their existence is one I much admire. As for capturing the Draco, you needn't worry. I'll have someone else take care of it. The intelligence you brought is highly valuable. Given your talents, we shouldn't be wasting your time on cleanup work. I'd like you to surveil the Duke of Wellington's movements from a specified location. Understood. I thank you for your appreciation. Oh yes, as for our prior question, have you decided on your answer? Hi, Miss Messenger. How far can you deliver letters? As far as you want? Could you help me write one then? Just a word or two. I just want to let my family know that I'm still alive. I'm sure you heard the Harmer just now. Caravans pass through this area regularly. There'll be one in half an hour. Follow the caravan. If you can hide in their transports, all the better. The regions around County Oak Grove should be the Duke of Wellington's territory. He won't permit transgressions against the Terrans. You'll be in grave danger if you miss this chance. The search team will make their way here from the nearest nomadic city as quickly as they can. It won't take even an hour. But if you manage to make it out, you won't have to worry about your future. It's me who they're after. If they lose track of you, they won't pursue you any farther. Wait, she's actually smiling.
She's smiling a little bit.
Oh, that's cute. Wait, so when Bagpipe said you were Dublin's leader, that wasn't just me hearing things. Yes, if any of you still want to fight alongside Dublin, you can come with me. But Dublin's name won't shield you, and the road ahead may be much the same as what we're experiencing now, monitored by many, continuously chased. Hey, I'm back. I did what you said and talked to her. Said everyone who escaped the village with me decided to settle down here. It made up a place name that doesn't exist in the Skathana fields. Still, that messenger seemed a nice lass though. If she's an actual messenger, not just someone here to investigate us, we'll be sending her on this trip in vain, no? I've spent most of my life in hiding. I've seen plenty of people in pursuit disguising themselves as messengers. Alright, suppose that's how it is from now on. Stop sighing so much. We need to divvy up our supplies while we still got the time. And you're hurt. Don't force yourself to go with Reed. We'll fight the Terrans fight for you. I count as having fought for the Terrans then, eh? Reed, a moment. Something I need to tell you. I'd wrote about it in my will, but, well, I survived, so, what is it? You see, I was the one who bashed a soldier with the hoe. I'm the reason everyone has to go on the run. That night, I saw him beating the Tully's little girl, so I picked up a hoe someone set aside and beat him on the head. I'm shaking, aren't I? I really am sorry. It's been so long and I still dream about it. She was only 14. She was screaming, crying, and it got to me. I know I figured it was so dark out, no lamps allowed and all, so it didn't matter if it might have cracked his skull, shed some blood. Wouldn't have seen it no matter how bad it was. I just didn't expect I'd mess this up for so many people. Afterwards, I thought I'd go with them and try to help settle everyone down, and then I'd leave to atone for my mistakes. But some of us never even made it, and in the end to a place we could settle down. Did you make up the charge about not having your papers in order? I'm sorry, I was worried they'd be suspicious when I wasn't on the wanted posters initially. That's why I went to the pharmacy with Fergal. And I dragged you into this mess too. Don't say that, Fionn. My identity was bound to catch up to me one day. And Terran's sorrow is bound to catch up to everyone one day. Alright. Hey, Morin, do you want to... What is it, Fionn? No, nothing. Here, pass me the rope. You won't get very far tying up your luggage up like that. Heh, fine, you're the expert. So you're following Reed into the fight. Someone said I've got the strength to get a lot of things done for them. But you can't see when there's no light. That'll be hard on you. Besides, it's war we're talking about. You'll face far greater enemies than we did that night. The cannons too. War isn't like the plays, where the heroes take a cut, lead a drop, fall and climb back up. In real life, people die the ugliest deaths in no time. But this is the path I want to choose. I rarely ever get the chance to choose, and I want to take it. So it wasn't Morin who died, it was Selman. It's okay, I didn't like Selman anyways, so it's all good. The caravan's coming in. Okay, I'll negotiate with them to carry the injured. Reed, can I go? Can I leave the way I am now? I believe everything is prepared. All that's left is my little sister. She is still lost at a crossroads, but she will make the right decision in the end. Top deck of high-speed battle Gastrel. Whoa!
She hot.
Is she gonna be playable, or are we gonna kill her? A rib taken from what was once the greatest nomadic city, furnished with the crystallization of the Victorian military's technological prowess. Most should be proud of having the privilege to board this battleship. Even across all of Terra, I doubt there exists a military machine as worthy of admiration as this. I expect no less from something bearing the name of a legendary officer under the Draco. I'm sure many have sought to track it, trying to fathom where you stand. But after a 7-year journey, today is finally the day it comes to shore. How many messengers are on the way to report the news of our change of course? The Duke of Castor and many others besides are paying close attention, but none of their armies will be able to interfere in time. County Oak Grove has stopped sailing and is ready to link. This is the first time in 7 years our ship comes anywhere close to a nomadic city, but there will be little resupplying or maintenance needed when we're docked. His lordship has indicated he'll personally receive you at the dock. Those Aslan lapdogs. So hesitant, so indolent, they may never even find out who the city truly belongs to until the ship has made it to County Oak Grove. And they have no idea of the fires that will rise again thence. Dublin's army, the Terrans who thirst to be released from this injustice, have made their way here from every part of Victoria. My strategist has done very well. Has my city stopped where I hoped it to? Yes, given terrain limitations and safety considerations. This is the position closest to the ruins that the city's course can reach. What do you think, Princess Eblana? You paid those ruins a visit on your way here. I think this will suffice. It doesn't matter how highly those who clamor for the restoration of Terran culture think of King Gale's palace. It's ultimately no more than a decaying ruins. When the time comes, the romanticist dreamers need only catch one glimpse of it through the wild morning mist, and it will sink in what once stood atop the hills perished in catastrophe. That will do. From what I hear, once the Terran dynasty fell and the Dracos fled, the Aslan let that castle stand empty until the day catastrophe claimed it. The Terrans have all but forgotten it. The remnants of that olden dynasty were never of any intrigue to begin with. The title of King Gale was bestowed upon him by Victoria's regent. He was no more than a more celebrated servant. If his crown was still extant, I would destroy it. If his throne still remained, I would render it ashes. But the place lacks even those to speak of. Hence why the young Warwick sought to rediscover Terran history, starting from the legend of King Gale. A fine thing to do, really. You mean the eulogist Warwick, the Warwick of the Northern Front? Oh, so you knew him. I once sent an envoy to one of his parties. This battleship began its patrol right around that time. You've always been of great foresight. I'd hardly call it much of a long wait. County Oak Grove. Say, are you keen on seeing it for yourself? Of course. I'm very curious how it's rebuilt itself since that great fire. After all, I once called it home. My elder sister's spear in hand, I stand in the hallway for some time. Everyone in the manor hangs their heads in silence, trying to keep busy. The moment they see me, they avert their gaze. Our teacher's health has been poor. He hasn't left his room since making his way back through a snowstorm from a dinner party. Dr. Dale readied him the mulled wine, yet hasn't been punctual in fetching the empty glass. The muted sounds of crackling wood would seep through the gaps in the door. The fireplace must be a bed of warmth on a snowy night, but the flame's eerie silence makes my teeth chatter. Nonetheless, I open the door. Oh! Now that you've convinced everyone to turn against me, why shouldn't I partake in this glass of wine? The Earl of Warwick. I thought you would want to know what your missteps were, such that your servants would seek help from me. Ugh, that is no matter, Ablana. What is important is, can you continue to hold their trust? Yes, of course. And I see you don't ask why I would agree to help them. I'm sure you know what's going to happen to the city once I'm gone. The balance of power between the nobles will be lost, and no one will dare to oppose Count Philip in Parliament. Still, our own junior barons will no doubt set to work in the shadows so as to earn the Duke of Stafford's favor. And simultaneously, the Terrans who have just rediscovered their names will lose their leader and protector. They will continue to be upheaved, trodden down by the harsh rule of law and the nobles, to the point they cannot bear it. Yet even if you live, all the bloodshed, the violence, the rioting would happen sooner or later. Wouldn't you say, sir? Ho ho, what will you do when that time comes? And there's Reed in the back. Wait, so is this a flashback? I will reach my hand out and drag them up from the ashes. For some unknown reason, a satisfied smile appears on his pale face. The insatiable Dracos, their ambitions knowing no bounds, half my life spent searching, it was not in vain. He removes his spectacles and with a slow, arduous turn faces out through the window out to the snowstorm. That gaze filled with fond nostalgia and earnest expectation is the same as on that winter night 10 years ago. Very interesting. She murdered the Earl of Warwick. So what, there's only 2 dukes left, I think? Or something like that. I don't know. I don't know freaking Victoria and, like, Dublin's shit. That gaze filled with fond nostalgia and earnest expectation is the same as on that winter night 10 years ago. That night he finished reading the legend, the night his fingers brushed across the Terran letters embossed in gold upon the book's spine. I see a new age belonging to the Terrans right in front of us. Oh, but Loshini and you. I stand motionlessly in the doorway. Reflected on the glass pane is my face, illuminated by the cold flames around us. Though filled with fear, our pitiful expressions are one and the same. Loshini, whose student will you be? Is it my defeat that you want, Loshini? Are we fighting a Blana? Oh no. I cast my heart into my rhymes, that you in the dim coming times may know how my heart went with them after the red rose bordered hem. I knew they wouldn't come looking for anyone under a pile of catastrophe rubble. We have that thick mist this morning to thank. Wouldn't have made it out so easily otherwise. Careful, we don't have any protective equipment. There's a risk of infection here if we get hurt. You too, Morin. Originium-rich environments are especially dangerous to infected. Noted, I'll watch out. Is Chiron asleep? I think she's just fallen asleep, yes. It wasn't fainting. Her breathing's very calm, I can tell. Sleep will ease her pain, if only by a little. But I still worry she might not make it if we don't stop to take care of her injuries soon. Are any of you disappointed? Why would we be? Didn't you say so yourself? We've got to fight with Dublin forces because they don't want a second leader. But they've got grander goals. They won't keep making chase. We're used to a life of running at this point. We can bear with it. What about after, though? You still haven't told us what you're thinking for then. I don't have a very good idea yet. I'm sorry. Right, there might be fewer Originium crystals deeper into the ruins. I want to take a look and see if we can hide ourselves anywhere for the moment. It's about time we all stopped for some rest. But aren't there people over that way? They seem like normal folk, but we should steer clear anyhow. You said so yourself. It's strange there's people in a place like this. We need to be careful. No need. You seem so afraid. What's the matter? I'm fine. Please don't worry about me. She's come here before. Is she nearby? Hey, the one over there is walking kind of strange, isn't she? Don't look. Oh lord, She probably died some time ago. Her body's just being controlled by arts like the Dublin soldiers we saw before. Why would they control a civilian? I'm not sure yet. Come with me, I'll handle those dead. It's very dim here. Follow the stone steps. Watch out for any shards of raw crystal as you go down. Morin, are you sure you're okay carrying Chiron on your back? I'm fine. As long as your flame's lit, I can see where I'm going. Okay, we'll head in as deep as we can. Try not to be too loud. It's King Gale's castle? When the topic of that overthrown dynasty arises, some think of the piles upon piles of armor from fallen soldiers, while others claim its golden crown still hides beneath elaborate mechanisms, deep within the ancient forest. Some see the towering walls of modern Victoria as a foil to the castle's vastness, paralleling the boundless inland sea of Claricide with the virtuous prosperity of the Age of Heroes, while at the same time lamenting its passing decay under the shadow of Victoria. All have envisioned this ancient castle as a sorrowful tombstone to Terra, the ghost of resentment. But it merely sits silent on top of the hill, bearing this place as hard as it was before the palace stood, overgrown with weeds covered in vines. How old is all this? 500 years? 1,000? Shh, don't wake Chiron up. Sorry, I'm just a little shocked. No bowled over, really. Tell you the truth, we put on productions of different King Gale stories each year. We know we're descendants of the Kingdom of Terra. We know that's why we're called Terrans. But no one used to believe it could all actually be true. There was even a legend of a forge which fused together the weapons of every Terran soldier and overturned the fate of the dynasty. A long, long time ago, I met a man from the city who was searching all over for a traveling bard. He said to me, though many legends were made up by later generations, there must still be the traces of history left in those stories. Reed, you must know plenty about that, don't you? Are you not fond of this place? You've been quiet ever since we came in here, maybe. When I was very young, I'd often read about the legends of Terra until I drifted to sleep. Be it the Victorian royal family scribes or those who wish to preserve Terran culture, they always write that it is the Draco's nature to fight. Legends say that the first Draco to lead the Gales boiled dried the waters of the river to travel south, to flee his clan that slaughtered each other over the throne, and settle the lands that came to be Terra. And legends say that Victoria's Red Dragon, the one who slayed the last nomadic Draco leader, gave his firstborn the title of King Gale while he still burbled in the cradle. And legends say the Draco of Terra was thereupon imprisoned in the palace, and though the exiled king cast away his crown and traveled the wilderness for 20 years, upon his return and audience with the regent, his closest family, still he was murdered. Terra's history is full of stories like these, the Draco's palaces teeming with conspiracy and bloodshed. I never longed for or dreamed of this place. I'm scared of it. I'm scared that one day I'll have to fight my sister. At least, I don't see any crystal clusters from the catastrophe in here. It should be safe to rest here. Good, then, here, Morin, let me set Chiron down for you. Let her sleep here, out of the wind. There's cover here and the walls are sturdy. We could light a fire at night and no one outside would notice us. Wait, wise Reed? Let her take a look by herself. I lay down my soldier's honor here, so that in time the soil of Terra need no longer be soaked in carmine blood. In Draco cross no swords with Draco kin. Be that unless a day comes whereupon Red Dragon's flame should lead all those that fell, our fighters from the forge to be reborn. Reed hears a faint stir. She pulls back the hand about to touch the rusted equipment before her. It's alive? Loshini, it's the sort of thing anyone could activate. Why do you find it so strange someone relit it? She's been through here. It's not strange. Through a gap she sees a purple flame. This was the palace of old. She was sure to come and sure to mock it with laughter, no? That this is all the legendary monarch left us with. Her flames burn here. That's why so many of the deceased here cannot rest here in peace. They were simply vagabonds who lost their way and died of thirst too close, awakened by the flames of death for no reason at all. No, stay away. You're scared of that flame too, aren't you? I can see how you want to put it out. Yes, it will bring pain to too many people, but if you truly intend on it, then I won't let you pass. She lit the fire of Dublin. You know the flame you could reignite could never be the same. She's done so many terrible things, told so many beautiful lies, but it was all necessary. She summoned thousands of Terrans to follow her lead, be they saints or criminals, nobles or thieves. You could never do it. No, I can. I don't believe that those sacrifices were all necessary, and I will never believe that only her way will save the Terrans. But she's been the leader since the start, since so long ago, since that great fire in Oak Grove. She thinks back to the battered, wounded girl who laid there on the street. Reed wanted to pull her up, get her away, but was so afraid that by reach of the hand she too would become naught but ashes. And there her elder sister walked up to the girl's side and asked, "Do you want to live? The sewers are right beside you. Climb down there and those disgusting nobles will never catch you again." Mandragora. From there she escaped into there, and in the end she returned. While you never did reach your hand to anyone, never pulled anyone up. If I'd reached out to her, then perhaps things would have been different. To be truly saved, she should have learned that there was so much more open to her, so much more than the power of the malefactor like the arsonist of that day. Yet the fact is, you're so afraid you fear even your own power, unable to do anything but let others control it. But that's why they're all disappointed in you. Why you've never disappointed even your own sister. No, you're wrong. You speak nothing of the past. You speak of nothing but the past. I am here now. I've held others' hands in mine. I cannot say it was me that pulled them to their feet, but if they want to walk forward, then my fire will clear the path for them, even if they lead me with them as they go. If she could see all this, I know she wouldn't be disappointed. You found your companions by mere chance. In front of them, you act like the capable fighter, the orator who brings all under your banner. You pretend to have your own power. But in reality, you are simply mimicking her. You are nothing, can be nothing but her shadow. She sees any method through its extreme, while in the face of her, you are far too hesitant and weak. The officers that set light to the Terran district spring to her mind. They were boisterous in ridiculing the Terrans for their arrogance, for their protesting against injustice in Oak Grove, even though they could barely read and write. She knows. This is the very thing her sister told their teacher, that this was bound to happen. The Victorians lit the flame of hatred by their own hands. This great fire will burn until all is reduced to nothing. Don't blink, her sister told her. Witness clearly for yourself how our lives are destroyed again and again. Amidst a sea of charred corpses, the Draco who controls the fires of death lifts her hand to cast. A purple ice-cold blaze immediately consumes the flames that had scorched the dead. That deathly blaze never was a true life-taker. She simply permits they climb from the ashes to take revenge against those who destroyed their homeland. I have no regrets. I'd always once thought she was in the right. We will throw ourselves into the fire, give even our own lives as fuel to build the Terran's ideal nation in the end. So I always spoke by her side, but once the fuel has burned away, will there be anyone left in her nation? I've hesitated, rethought, run away. I do not regret it. My flight took me here. I've met people, seen things she's never seen. The things I want to say cannot be what she does, so I will not be afraid of the thought of her again. I will never be trapped within my own shadow. But as you recognize this palace, were you not fearing? I imagine you never be able to tell your companions where you are bound, but the answer has long been readied in your heart. If you won't become me, then how will you find your own place within Dublin's dreams? Loshini, what do you want? And in Reed's mind are the dead who walked to them in the great fire. Stop. Battered, bruised, scarred beyond recognition, yet with their thirst burning bright in their eyes, their revenge against the Victorian officers fulfilled, now walking to those who lit their flames. Walk no longer. You are owed your rest. By the time she reacts, those closest to her have fallen before her, the vacant sockets of their eyes all focus on her. In the fierce flash of her firelight, the deathly flames are extinguished. I'm sorry, sister. I'm sorry. I did not mean to ruin your arts. You've done well, Loshini.
Oh, she's so hot.
She lifts her head in fear. For the very first time, her sister is smiling on her in commendation. Truly, very well. Your firelight is such a dazzling one. I always wondered what it would take for you to show your true strength, for you to draw the attentions of all. Display to me your talent once again. Let me see what you can truly drive. Let me see that you can truly drive back my flames. Will you defeat me, my beloved sister? Is it go time? Is it go time? Her shadow. Alright, so I'm guessing we're fighting a Blana. Tank right at the start, okay.
任何微小的震动都可能改变结果。
Bruh. These guys are so freaking annoying. The leader. Dublin's leader, the life-burning Draco, the fear-evoked Shatter. Do not let her close in on you. She's so tanky!
是的，我已准备完毕。敌人传
Whoa!
需要我为你启动陷阱吗？
Set everything on fire. Okay, okay.
君は気づいていない。我在你旁边。开动。邪悪を壊滅しうるは勇猛さ。
在这里倒下的话，就不会受到更多伤害。リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。
Oh, she's got a shield. That's kind of annoying, actually.
いつでも勇気を下ろせ。自分のための戦いを。
随时准备入列。
意志を堅固にするは規律。
我想在战斗中捍卫的，不仅有法条，还有法条之
子供たちの悲鳴が聞こえる。
这里什么都没有发生。我在你旁边。骚扰最近的敌人。
リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。
我将带路冲锋。明白，四车，雷送到草丛里去。是的，我已准备完毕。准备进入预定位置。
生命を救済しうるは慈しみ。
わあ、寝ちゃうところだった。不会加油的。
我看到他了，马上就好。
生命を救済しうるは慈しみ。
行くぞ。
Huh?
いつでも行ける。
地形数据采集完毕。
こちらちなめるなよ。
本気で行くよ。我真的。
思考を明晰にするは戦術。
我看到他了，马上就好。
沙子会重塑大地。
这样能让你安静下来。行动越快，痛苦越少。
いつでも行ける。
我去那边。
任何微小的震动都可能改变结果。
一分も引かない。明白，阿登。骚扰最近的敌人。这样能让你安静。算好，开动。
Dude, she's just gonna walk in there, huh? What the hell? I have to use something else. That's nutty.
敵に背を向けるのは初めてではない。もしこれでより多くの人を生かせる。
Wait, and I have to get rid of all of it? I have to get rid of like a good portion of that fire? Really? Oh, it's just a Meyer thing, okay. I was like, what? I can't freaking take out all that fire. Wait, so... You're useless. You are probably useless. You are useless. Am I gonna end up using Classico? Probably.
今の私はロドスのオペレーターに過ぎない。あなたの
お前の采配に対しては私にも意見する権利がある。
気をつけ。
Straight up calling them useless? Yes. How I see operators, they're either useful or useless. Even though they're probably all... In all honesty, they're probably all useful. There is a slight problem though. I gotta deal with this side. That should be her. Yeah.
请为我颔首啊！いつでも行ける。武器を下ろせ。命令を想像したことある。友も故郷も二度と戻らなくなることを。
这样能让你安静下来。
是帮助大家的时候了。
Wait, is your shield already out?
你们的罪行无可辩驳。
諦める。言われなくても私。こちらチェン。やめるなよ。みんなこっち来て。
何これ？
8点钟为法律是手段，不是目的。
こちらチェン。やめるなよ。
Okay, everyone's on fire. That's fine.
但不幸，
It's all expected.
准备进入预定位置。
みんなこっちや。
愿光芒浸润你。
こちらチェン。私が行こう。進め。ここに立つね。
That's a lot of bodies.
ご指示を邪悪を壊滅しうるは勇猛さ。
こちらチェン。
离人转述，不胜利。
準備完了。準備完了。
わあ、ちゃんところ。りんごちゃん、今日もよろしくね。
8点钟为法律是手段，不是目的。
Oh, she's coming. She's coming.
是帮助大家的时候了。啊，みんな、こっち来て。
害虫が。
ドクターさん、変わりありませんか？大丈夫ですか？悪くない場所だ。
行动越快，痛苦越少。
おじきゃー。言われなくても分かってる。
私が行こう。
言われなくても分かってる。
Oh fuck.
奴らを抑える。
I think it triggered her passive.
奴らを諦めるな。
Yeah, fuck. That was too early. Fuck.
行くぞ。ザ
わあ、りんごちゃん、今日もよろしくね。
我这里什么都没有发生。
いつでも行け。なめるなよ。いつでも行ける。
手执微光，便是为了扫尽世间恶行。
Ah, the mire.
我准备过来。ビクトリアのバグパイプ、りんごちゃん、今日もよろしくね。ご指示を。
Dude, I'm so confused. How the fuck does the shield work? I'm not gonna look up the answer.
ここは私がやる。
Dude, that's so fucking lame. How the fuck does her shield work? I am so confused. Some enemies will turn in and continue fighting. Wait, sacrifices up to 5 flame chaser soldiers and gains a temp. All reads on the fancy unite melee attacks too. What? I ain't a lamer. I don't need fucking outside help. I'll figure it out. I am so okay, so essentially what ends up happening is that okay, it makes sense. So essentially the dudes that rebirth, if we don't kill them right away, she keeps getting endless shields. So we have to kill them first. Otherwise I think it's honestly fine. And then the biggest problem is the fact that the undead are stronger when reeds are on fire. And unfortunately all the reeds are on fire, so there's not much I can do about that. Cause she just auto ignites everything, which is fucking annoying. So what I'm supposed to do, or what ends up happening, is that I'm supposed to still put everyone in the reeds. And I probably have to heal them. I probably do need to bring a healer. Dude, that fire is so fucking annoying. Which means... Actually, well, no. I have to fucking get an auto run for this here. Oh, I actually think Mudrock actually goes this skill. She probably goes this one. I probably have to drop Chen. I need a healer. I think it's arts damage. I'm pretty sure it's arts damage. When in doubt, it's fucking arts damage. 100%. Okay, so literally everything is Mire, essentially. if so that means that I should, if I want to get the metal thing, I have to place everyone in here.
私の使命思考を明晰にするは戦術命令の基地が崩れていくのを感じる
不会加油的。
我这里什么都没有发生。行动越快，风口越少。
わあ、みんなこっち来て。私たちならできます。はい。命を奪うようなことはいたしません。
命令の信号を実現させた者が国数 M に
She should be coming out
気づいてい
soon.
ない
我准备过来。
Okay, so what ends up happening
我离远转瞬，我不受理。
わあ、本気で行くよ。
is that if I don't kill these guys, she's just gonna keep sucking. She's just gonna keep getting shields from them, which is annoying as fuck.
言われなくても一匹も逃げられると思うな。
命令の基地が崩れていくのを感じる
行动越快，痛苦越少。
戦場それは変わらないもの
太阳，请为我颔首吧。
父も私の欲望祝う立ち上がる
怪我はさせません。
基地が崩れていくのを感じる
只等您一声令下。
这把审判锤分了。
你快离开，被拖了。
离远转瞬，我不受理。准备进入预定位置。
Wait, who are they aiming at? Are they aiming at? Okay, aiming at penance is fine.
命令を想像したことある友も故郷も二度と戻らなくなることを
飛べ。私がお守りします。
準備完了
No, we can mega chill. I think we can mega chill.
离远转瞬，
変わりありませんか。大丈夫ですか。
I think we can mega chill.
准备进入预定位置。
There is a problem though.
行くよ。誰のことを選ぶのでしょうか。
Wait, fuck! I should have put freaking inserter below. Fuck. Because at least she'd still be healed by freaking Nightingale.
友も故郷も二度と戻らなくなることを
怪我はさせません。好緊張。怪我はさせません。
Nice and steady. That's fine. No need to rush. Though I don't know what I'm gonna do about Golden Glow if when shit gets on fire. So I probably need a reset. Yeah, the other enemies won't come until I push her to phase 2, so I'll just wait.
怪我はさせませ
We
ん
can kill her slowly.
私がお守りします
Okay, now this is the annoying part. Okay. Everything's on fire now.
怪我はさせませんドクター
奴らを抑える。
怪我はさせません待っててください私の声に応える命令は死が崩れていくのを感じる
奴らこの程度で止まると思うの？
言われなくても一匹も逃げられると思うなもう吹いちゃうようだ私がお守りします
无论迎接是法典之外的罪恶，是否可以用法典之外的方式惩戒？
この力どうか受け止めてください
我看到他，马上就好。
命令を岩が耳を傾けているよくだ岩を立ち上がる
这长夜也应结束。
進めご指示をご指示を思考を明晰にするは戦術みんな助けに来たよわ
准備进入预定位置。
本気で行くよ一歩も引かない命令の子供たちの悲鳴が聞こえる
这里什么都没有发生。
前に進むぞ。
私の声に応える
行动越快，痛苦越少。
悪くない場所だ待機中
私がどの程度で止まると思うの？
私に指図愚か者我真不会离开拜托了
这里什么都没有发生。
私たちならできますはいみんな助けに来たよドクターさんどうぞここが戦場リンゴちゃん今日もよろしくね飛べ信号を実現させた者が北総へのに君は気づいていない
应结束了。是的，我已准备完毕。
本気で行くよ。私がお守りします。行くよ。私に怪我はさせねばって諦めろ。不会加油的，怪我はさせません。
That was so fucking annoying. Holy moly. Dude, that mechanic. Or I would say mechanic, that gimmick is really freaking annoying. The fact that they go invis, it'd definitely be a lot easier if I had Scene. I think if I bring Scene, I can just reveal them and fucking murder them. She'd consider the possibility of ending it all, even if it meant the fires of the Draco would never die. She'd imagine the flames of wrath bursting from her aching chest, burning away the shell and identity she had been given, liberating her from the shackles of herself. But when she truly went to touch her flames, desiring to hold them, she suddenly wondered if she'd never had control over them in the first place. You've done well, Loshini. You wanted me to give you my sincere praise. Is this good enough? Or have you prepared yourself by now for the shadow to return to the self, for you to replace me as the leader? I can give you this opportunity. Your next plume of flames will burn me to ashes. Will you reach out to me? The flames burn and her shadow sways slightly, but Reed averts her eyes. Not far away, Kyron, who has just woken up, slowly props herself up atop an old apron, and Morin hums as she helps clean her wound. Sister, why did you come back? What do you see as you stand here? The campfire burned bright that night. At the time, Fionn was wandering around begging for a new foothold to get business up and running, and Selman was wrapping more wire around her weapon. Everyone called her the leader jokingly, but they were serious when they thanked her for bringing them all here. I heard that King Jael was crowned by the Victorians, and only then did they erect the royal palace over a ceremonial stone circle. Before that, it was first home to the Terrans. She thinks back to festive winter nights from long, long ago. They would change into new matching outfits in front of the fireplace, leaving behind a photograph of their smiling faces. What a lovely, warm little ball of flame. So no, I don't care about being a shadow, but I am not your shadow. I am simply the shadow of our people's ideal leader. They want a way out, a way to get their lives back. I happened to be there and became needed by them. So why must I defeat you, sister? I'd love to get freaking Reed's sister on the team. Not afraid of death? Please don't say that, Kyron. There is nothing wrong with being afraid of dying. How tragic would it be to die at Dublin's hands before we save our fellow Terrans? Dublin wants to save them too, you know? You're a lot more well-spoken than before. Lucky we've still got plenty of anti-inflammatories. Oh, that hurts? Sorry. Ah, Reed, you're back. If we hide here tonight, we shouldn't run into any of the arts-controlled corpses again. Have you surveyed around us already? That's good. I wish we could stop a bit longer myself, but Kyron's injuries aren't looking good. Hey, what's that look on you for? Haha, I still remember at the beginning we all saw you like you were our doctor. Only later we realized you're just like all of us, wounded. Are my own wounds serious? No, they aren't, don't worry. Your injuries can be healed. It's just, are you afraid of my fire? Of course not. And so she reaches out to the wounded Terran in front of her. The Draco's burning anger wells within her blood. In bygone times, the Red Dragon bled for his people. One drop of his blood incinerating flames from end to end. She swallows her rolling breath as suppressed flames scorch her. But if doing so can soothe pain, then she is willing to endure it. It is no true flame that burns in her hands and not even a flash of light. But invariably, the people are filled with the same feeling, the flowing of life, and as gentle as one's eyes opening for the first time to the rays of morning. I'm guessing by your face you're already feeling a lot better. Yeah, Reed, maybe you really are a doctor. Still, not that you work the same way other docs do. No, what these are my own flames at long last. May you sleep soundly tonight, Kyron. Never thought I'd see the day someone outside the Victorian army would board a high-speed battleship. That should have been the first thing on your mind the moment you loaded the Victorian flag. I have nothing against you, Terran. I just want to see your force's military proficiency. Plus, I'm rather curious about that leader of yours. I certainly hope the Duke's guest isn't just relying on her Draco bloodline. Your arrogance towards us seeps from your very bones, Victorian. But when she gets up on stage to give her speech, you'll find that she is the true master of the forces on this ship. I still don't get it. Are you people Dublin or not? After all, you don't dress anything like them. But regardless of who you are, you saved us from the Victorians. I'll follow you anywhere. I'm sorry we couldn't help your friend. It's fine, it's fine. As long as others can be saved, I suppose you can say he's still living through them. Alright. By the way, Reed, have those people given up on hunting us? The team that was tailing us vanished fairly abruptly, but in any case, things work to our advantage. Dublin's forces should be assembled now. The Terrans are about to make their voice heard throughout Victoria. Ooh, I like that camera pan. That's good. That's cute. That's cool. Soldiers. Oh, Eblana. Oh. Oh. Dublin forces I am in charge of have come from all over Victoria to join his lordship's army, and together they will fire their opening shots to the war of their survival. Up until the last few days, many people have heard of the Dublin name or have any idea what we were fighting for. Your war is picking up steam as we speak, but ours has been raging on and on over the last decade. As we speak, those flying the Terran banner continue to bleed. There are no words that can describe the atrocities that the Terrans have had to endure. I've seen their streets burned to ash, their cities reduced to rubble. Yet they, who deserve everything the land can give them, met with our soldiers at risk of being executed to break their bread with us. I saw the Terrans crying out to us in their struggles. However, their salvation has been deferred not decades, but entire centuries. They appeal to their giant and mighty compatriots and to their neighbors of conscience, to all those Victorians who will not be co-conspirators to tyranny. They cry out for our attentive eyes. As I speak, there are those among us who are well aware of their Terran blood, yet there are others who may be asking, who exactly are we going to help? Terrans. With all the time we spent together, we've all gotten used to using this word. But what you said never left my mind, Reed. You said the factory workshop we worked in lacked protective measures, so everyone would slowly come down with aripathy and waste away. Yet the owner of the factory who drove the Terrans to work under such dangerous conditions was himself a Terran. And there are so many people like you who speak bog standard Victorian. Though they were born in the same place as us, they are afraid of talking with us and revealing their accents. What exactly is a Terran? Who is it we're trying to save? It's been on my mind for a long time too. Do you want to hear what I think? Go on, Reed. We're not looking forward that badly to fleeing for our lives. Of course we're happy to hear you out. At this point, I might say it's the name given to the centuries of our plight. In the past, Victorians spent many years trying to erase the Terran name, but I'm sure you can all feel it. Those ties are still there. Victorians don't call us Terrans. They call us nasty-sounding, uncultured bumpkins, good-for-nothing rascals, ill-bred scum. Reed, don't be talking foul! Or, as many people have experienced, they strip us of our property, our land, and our rights, even the lives of our kin, all because of our common name. Some may say to us, then why not give up your language and your traditions? Why not sing the same songs as Victorians at the festivals? As long as others can't tell that we're Terrans, we'll be able to receive the same treatment as them. Of course, there are others who may retort that even though they are Terrans, they've earned wealth through willpower and dedication, receiving enough education to climb up into the upper class. To this I say how ironic it is that we must throw aside our culture and betray our own name just to earn the dignity of being seen as ordinary people by them. Though some of us have achieved greatness, the first step to survive invariably is to become Victorian. Duke Wellington, surely you understand this better than anyone else. How many people still remember that your heart pumps a Terran's blood? But given that Victoria is deliberately trying to strip us of our name, does that mean that they've really forgotten about Terra's existence? If that were the case, then why did I, a descendant of King Gale, a surviving Draco 200 years after the fall of the Terran kingdom, watch my parents be murdered by the Aslan's assassins left to die in their own blood? No, they are afraid we will remember our names and expose their lies, and I stand before you to remind you of this fact. So what you're saying is years and years ago, the Victorian nobles came to Terra to subjugate all of its people. Yes, that much is what the history books told us. There's numerous fabrications about Terra, but some interspersed truths too. Victoria forcibly put King Gale into power as monarch of the Terra region, coercing him to canonize Mary Victorian nobles. The unfair treatment towards Terra as a land was codified into law too. Since then, the Terran's accent has been associated with their lowly status. The Victorians have come to see the Terrans as stupid, vulgar, and uneducated. But who will come to educate the people of Terra? In all these hundreds of years, not a single soul. The Terrans have slowly fled from their homeland, perhaps drifting through Victoria along with its nomadic cities, but never enjoying the same rights and privileges as the Victorians. Have we ever had seats at prestigious banquets or institutions of higher education? If there are layabouts among us, is that not because the Victorians have taken away our right to work? The injustices we've long endured were so cleverly hidden away in the lengthy years after the word Terran was expunged, but no longer. We finally understand why we have been driven to despair. There is much I know, both about Terra's history as well as about the legends spun by subsequent generations to trace Terra's origins. I can tell you about everything, true injustices and fabricated dreams alike. I can tell you about everything, but I won't speak of them. You'll all want to escape from your past lives. Well, of course, we can't live on like this, so it's alright even if we can't tell we're Terrans. I just think wherever the lights out chimes, everyone must need a flame that burns through the night. The only thing we must fight is the misfortune thrust upon us. Therefore, to fight for the Terran survival is something we must do. Right now we are docked in Oak Grove, once a Terran community burned to ashes by a tyrant's flames. Perhaps those with keen enough eyesight will be able to see Terra's palace destroyed by a catastrophe over yonder. Such are the scars left behind on the Terran people. However, it is hardly our intent to recover Terra's ancient lands, or reconstruct our history out of its tatters. We are wanderers in a new land, and the road I wish to take you down is one of constructing a new era and a new order. This battleship's next stop will be at the port of Londinium. Naturally, we are not going to compete for Victoria's crown. We simply are taking our destiny back from the Victorians into our own hands. Our eyes are open now. We clearly see that our suffering is rooted in the dominion and servitude that Victoria imposed upon Terra. As such, we ought to let Victoria deny the legitimacy of its own past actions. The war may not end in Londinium, but surely we do not fear a long and bitter fight. The flames have already been kindled. They will burn away the ancient order of this land, taking our rotten shackles along with it. As for the new order that shall be established, I turn to all of you. I implore all of you, regardless of whether you're Terran or Victorian, regardless of who you are or where you came from, to simply fight for the glory of justice for the unprecedented era to come. Until the Terrans are free to compose their own dreams, just as the Victorians are, nothing shall stand in our way. But Reed, what are we fighting for? For the survival of the Terrans is simply too vague. In past times I always thought that life was so fragile. Upon this great land, many a thing waits to take our lives from us. Everything we do is no more than a desperate struggle, a stand against death. And in the end, one for which nobody can emerge victorious. If I concerned myself too much with people's lives, how would I ever be able to come face to face with all too ubiquitous sacrifices with a sea of unmarked graves? Yet, the weight of a life is immense. This is something I can't escape from. Huh, it's just Shiroko. Interesting. We cannot defeat death, but we can and we should give dignity to the living. Damn, all these parallels. Freaking Reed holds the spear in her right hand and she's looking to the right. Fucking Ablana holds the spear in her left, looking to the left. Oh! I believe that the people of Terra should have a warm fire at night and wine in their glasses when they sing their songs. Wait. Oh. Lol. Shiroko isn't Lim. It's a perm swimsuit banner. Interesting. I believe that the people... Okay. There should be a day when the people of Terra no longer have to run away or bid farewell to their families and lovers. I hope for the people of Terra to have their homeland where they can live in peace. I hope that all those we've parted ways with will all be reunited there. The wind rustles the reeds, and amidst their swishing she feels the painful sear of the dancing flames. She sees that it is an austere yet distant dream. Perhaps not a single person standing here will be here to see that day come. Dublin's flames will burn this land. Surely it will be harrowing, thousands upon thousands of lives, nothing more than fuels for the flames of war, but even then the weight of a life cannot ever be diminished. Let's go. We are a part of it too. Oh right, I got a letter from home yesterday. They're all alive and well. Maybe when we get back from war, they'll be doing even better, haha. Lost for words again, Morin. Sorry, I couldn't help but wondering to myself, what should living life be like? Well, how about starting with a song? Go on, you might as well. Nobody's after our heads for once. By the firelight of homely hearth I sleep, dreaming of honey, rum, and stew. Say, Reed, what are you gonna do if we end up siding with Dublin? Don't worry. There's no difference between her and I. We're both trying to realize the same single dream for the Terran people. When that day comes, I will go see her.
当たり前だ。
Elegy for the Descendants. I think that should be the right medal, right? Oh, no more than 3 times. Oh man, that's gonna be so annoying. So essentially, I have to keep them in the reeds. Scattered scraps.
您应该已经收到了公爵亲属的信函。接下来我会使用“迷途”这个代号逐渐活动，不用费心调查，我会将所有可以公开的个人资料交给您。
Mr. Puzzle. Alright, so we pretty much get to wait until FCEX pops up. So let's see, gonna grab all these. Bipolars, always good. I don't really need the alloy blocks. I think 6 is enough. Well, most of the important stuff is pretty much taken care of. Some extra chips for Mulsis. But yeah, I guess that's it for what the Firelight casts. There is still one more medal I have to get, but we'll... I guess I'll probably do that later. Yeah, I think I did pretty well with this. So yeah, I think it is FC6 that I am gonna farm, or iron clusters. I don't have too many of them, so I guess that'll be it for this stream, guys. If you guys are pulling for Reed, I wish you luck. Freaking, she is perm, so if you want to hold out until she might eventually spook you, I'd probably highly suggest it, unless you want to pull for Lynn, who should be the next banner, unless they decide to move things up for 2.5. I myself am most likely going to skip Reed. Freaking, my luck actually hasn't been doing too well with Arknights, with Texas, so I'm just like, I just kind of want to recoup my losses. So hope you all enjoyed the stream. Hope you all have a good day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye bye.